You are listening to Six Music. I am Russell Brand. I'm here with Matt Morgan. He's pressing buttons. You all right, Matt?
Yes, very well.
Trevor Cocky Lock is also here. You all right, Trev?
I have of late lost all my mirth and forgone all custom of exercise.
No, I did a book once. I don't think I'm better than everyone else. Trevor, you're not better than everyone else. Just you can quote a few words from Hamlet.
Why are you depressed?
I don't know.
Don't be depressed, Trev. It's pointless. We're live. This is a live show. You're listening to Russell Brand live on Six Music. That was Jeep stuff from T-Rex. Mark Bolan. I once met a medium. She told me that I had Mark Bolan's ghost as my spirit guide. I think she said this because I arrived at the reading wearing like a sheepskin jacket and loads of beads, no shirt, all long hair, clutching a bottle of booze, saying things like, I'd be willing to pay more if I had Mark Bolan's ghost as my spirit guide. She picked up on that. Very sensitive and intuitive woman she was. So today we're talking about jobs. What sort of jobs might you have done in your life? Perhaps they were good jobs, perhaps they were bad jobs. Tell us about these jobs. We've done all sorts of jobs among us, haven't we? What did you used to be, Matt? A killer?
Yes, a trained killer.
Trained killer. What did you used to do, Trevor Lock? Mop people's undercarriages with a wet tissue?
No, I didn't. I used to sell advertising on the telephones.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not try new telephones? Tired of shouting? Tired of writing letters? Get a telephone. It's by this fella, Alec Grambell. Alec Grambell, clever old clogs he's got on his toot size. So, yeah, tell us about your jobs. We weren't here last week, so it was it's weird, wasn't it, being pre-recorded? I mean,
Yeah,
the show hopefully didn't suffer too much for it, you know, but it's better to be live, because now we can go things like, look out the window at the genuine weather and look at how we're all alive at the same time doing the same things. It's weird being proven. We went to, me and Matt went to Cologne to review the Rolling Stones and to meet Keith Richards. Good trip, wasn't it, Matt? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was really good.
Really good. Why are you doing
brief.
that funny face?
What?
Why are you doing a funny face for?
Just remembering what happened there.
Yeah, I'm remembering what happened as well. For example, there was one bit, right,
No,
where we were
don't
on the
say
aeroplane.
stupid. That's
right?
in the article.
It's in the article. It's an article for Observer
Don't start
Music
off with
magazine.
that, Russ.
It'll be on
Come
the 14th. Matt Morgan elected whilst we were sat on the aeroplane. We were sat there in business class. Goes, I've got an itchy bot. I goes, have you, mate?
I don't think I said that.
He did. He said bot. Right, and then sat in the corner. He goes, I've got to do something about it. Right, and then the air stewardess come around with him. Would you like a wet wipe for your hands and face, gentlemen? Matt snatched it like a greedy, guzzling little crow man.
In a minute, I'll tell you the truth.
Wiped his bottom without leaving his seat. Jammed his hand down his back with a little wet wipe, wiped his bum, and then put it back in the packet. That is the way Matt Morgan goes through life.
Because Russell Brand's late for every single thing he's ever going to. We were late. I had to go to the toilet in the airport, a rush with him going, Matthew, outside the door, under pressure. I hate to have to talk about this on the radio, but he's brought it up. Didn't wipe properly because of Russell Brand. Then we sat on the aeroplane.
Holding your hand.
Sat on the aeroplane. No, because he was banging on the door and I had to just hurry up. Then I sat on the aeroplane and I said it and I said, I'm going to have to get one of them wet wipes and go to the toilet. And he goes, just do it here. Just do it here.
I didn't think you'd actually do it, Matt,
No, he goes, I'm not going to let you out. Just do it here. Go on, just do it here. And he was egging me on. I went, all right, I'll do it here.
Egging being the appropriate word. The stench was unbearable.
There was no stench. It was a very minor operation. Then I put it back in the packet and then stuck it in the chair.
Stuck it in the chair
in front.
That's horrible. You didn't do that. Trevor, that is unacceptable.
I don't care, Trevor.
Well, I know you don't. You're naughty little lout.
Trevor, you've been such a good boy today. I think you deserve some delicious fudge. Don't you deserve some delicious fudge? Eat your fudge, Trevor! Would you like some delicious fudge, Trev?
There is no fudge, is there?
Eat your fudge, you ungrateful. He's ungrateful, Matthew. He's saying there's no fudge.
No one believes you.
He's saying there isn't any fudge here when there's
fudge here.
Lots of delicious fudge.
Trevor, in a way, isn't everything fudge?
Isn't it, Trev, if you think about it?
You've lost your mind.
In a way, all things are fudge. Eat your fudge, Trev. Right, okay. Oh, I'll tell you what we'll do, right? You tell us about your jobs you've done. Some people have put that up about jobs on the message board,
some funny things here.
What, from people?
A very brief thing from someone called Moose Hat.
Moose Hat, how's it going, Moose Hat?
I clean a library. I don't like it.
Moose Hat, you have our sympathy. I wouldn't like to clean a library either. But it's better than cleaning, say, a public lavatory. Or imagine having to clean an aeroplane. Imagine being an aeroplane cleaner and then discovering that someone has wiped their bottom and left the wreckage of this operation tucked where the magazine and the sick bag were. A sick bag that I had to use because Matt Morgan induces vomit. If you want to tell us about your jobs, text us on 64046 or email russell.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk. today. Sister, I'll tell you what I am. I'll tell you what I am. It's a blooming poet.
I'm going to think of something revolting that you've done.
Good luck, Matt. Good luck, because luckily I live my life like a perfect gentleman.
All right, what about an Ibiza when you did a stand-up poo in my shower?
For example, I was under the drug umbrella, wasn't very well, can't do with that. Matt's all dressed up today, all pleased as punch, dressed up like little Lord Fauntleroy. Turned up my house going, "Where's, can I borrow your sea salt hairspray, please?" He goes, "What are you doing? Are you on a date? Have you fallen in love with Trevor? Why are you making such an effort? It's radio." "It's all right, I'm allowed to dress up, ain't I? I'm allowed to dress up." It's all
I went around his house because he was standing there in his greying little pants. He felt threatened because I looked so good.
I just felt threatened.
I thought it was a cold day today.
Like going to a wedding.
Oh, it was a cold day. I put on some new jeans.
Very nice.
Might as well have had a straw hat
on Friday.
Yeah, I bought these on Friday. T-shirt and a nice coat that you bought me.
Why are you all dressed up? Out of love, and look at how you repay me. Eat some fudge, Trevor!
I just fancied being a bit smart, and then because of that, and I said, "Oh, can I use your sea salt hairspray?"
What is sea salt hairspray?
Makes your hair like you've just been in the sea.
Is that good?
Well,
of course it is. Everyone looks nice when they come out to sea, don't they?
I can barely tell because he goes, "I goes, how do you use it?" And he goes, "You go bend over and go like that."
He done much more
I sprayed
than
it
that.
on my hair. He goes, "You're using too much." Like that.
He did loads of
I bet it's
more than I
expensive,
said.
that sea salt hairspray.
It is.
He doesn't pay for it, does he? Some bird gets it for him.
How dare you? Yes, she does. Let's listen to Morrissey, Sister, I'm a Poet. Come on, it'll cheer us right up. Oh, look at Matt's little face. I'm so sorry. I'm here with Matt Morgan and Trevor Locke. Trevor, where did you just go?
Went to get some water from the water cooler.
Why don't you just stop getting water and gratefully eat your fudge?
I don't have any fudge. The fudge is imaginary. The water is real.
Let's make him drink lots of water.
Drink some water, Trev!
I'm happy to drink some
Drink
water.
your water, you ungrateful brute!
Very grateful, and I'm thirsty, thanks.
Are you alright today, Trev? 'Cause you seem
No.
like you might be a bit down in the old dumperoonies.
I'm very unhappy.
I can never tell when Trevor's really depressed or he's just sort of mucking about.
I know, that's because Trevor's got such a strongly developed persona, such a well-crafted facade that one wonders if there is a real Trevor Locke anymore. Is there, Trevor?
No.
Well, we all suspected as much, and I think it's a good job because the facade one's a proper little twerp, isn't it? At least that'll be easier to dispose of. When Trevor does eventually die and we look at his corpse, we'll just go, there was nothing ever there. Let's just plant some daffodil bulbs in his eye sockets and have a hell of a party. So we're talking about jobbies. Have you got any interesting jobs on that message board, Matthew?
There's a few things here. Do you want me to go through them or do you want me to talk about my own job?
No, we want to go through other people's jobs, Matthew, rather than you dressing yourself up like little Lord Fauntleroy or Prince, like some modern-day dandy, and then poncing around talking about your own jobs. That is not what we require from you today. What are you doing? Look, leafing through there like an archaeologist.
Just asked me to read some out. I'm trying to...
Have you found any?
Well, they're very long, a lot of them, and
Matthew,
meandering.
this is the messages from people that listen to our show. It's for these people that we make this show, not for your ego and so you can afford expensive hair products.
Okay, well, Luke, friend of the show...
Friend of the show, Lou.
He worked at Clinton Cards.
Did he? The other cards are available.
That's what he puts here, in fact, in
Does
your
he?
work, yeah.
Well done.
I somehow, and in quotations, reduced a woman to tears.
Right.
It's quite cut and dried if you've done that, isn't it? If he would have seen her crying.
Yeah.
I somehow reduced a woman to tears when she asked, "Do you take Electron?" And he did that Little Britain thing where he goes, "Computer says no." She hadn't seen it. He got told off. I don't know why she cried about that.
Well, I don't know either.
It's Luke, so he probably did it for about an hour.
Probably did it now repetitively and then said to her, "Why don't you eat some slugs? Or why don't you get a slug and make earrings out of those slugs?" Trevor, have you had any unusual jobs?
Yeah, I have.
What are these jobs? You surely didn't think that I was just conducting a yes-no survey?
I met a guy at university with really long, lustrous hair who claimed that he'd met the inventor of the cure for baldness.
This is not a job, Trevor.
This is just a lie. You met the inventor of the cure for baldness.
Well, he put me in contact with him, and then the former Labour MP, Brian Gould.
Ah, Brian Gould, yeah, the former Labour MP, yeah?
Yeah, who subsequently emigrated to New Zealand.
Yeah, subsequently emigrated to New Zealand, yeah?
Good job, this, actually.
Yeah, really good job.
I set up in business. They reckon they could grow back hair on bald people by hanging them upside down and changing their diet and reducing their stress levels.
Yeah, what happened?
Someone died.
Someone died. Trevor used it as an excuse to lure Italian girls to live in his house. Why not come and live in my house while I do this follicular experiment? Probably them Italian girls have got hair growing in their cleavages now, you sick walk fiend. What do you put in their tea?
I don't use it anymore. You have to hang upside down by
Does
your
it
ankles.
work,
Why, hang on,
Trev?
were you going bald?
No, I wasn't going bald, no.
Why are you involved in this, Trevor?
I just thought it was a remarkable thing for humanity if you could reverse male.
You're giving a lot of people false hope.
Not at all. It worked.
Trevor, you
Just
can't
very
cure
slowly.
baldness.
Watch how many emails we get now. Do you know how big baldness is?
What are you talking about, you pair? For God's sake,
How
I have to
big
do
it
everything,
is.
don't I?
It's
Right,
huge.
okay, I had some jobs once. One of the jobs I used to do was be a postman. It was good being a postman, but it was depressing. What I didn't realise whilst being a postman is that I was actually doing, like, it was over Christmas time and the postmen were all on strike, right? And I'd got this job as a postman, but I was actually unknowingly being scab labour because the post union had gone on strike, for probably with good justification. I don't know much about things like that. And like, so I was doing this job as a postman in my normal clothes, right, going around like posting letters in this place called Ockenden near Essex, right? Well, in Essex.
Well, you didn't
near
get a
where I'm
uniform?
from. No, I had to walk around in normal civvies. I mean,
You
I-
get a
sure
proper
you were a
bag?
postman?
Definitely was a postman. I was posting letters to all people's houses, and I had to go to the post office, sorting office, sort through, and they give you a big heavy sack. Really depressing it is, that sack. Carry it, you do.
Yeah.
And then go off around the places, post the letters to each of the individual doors. After a while, I started to think some of these letters I could have them. You know, they weren't addressed to my house or nothing, but I thought, why not? I'm here, I've got all these letters.
You opened other people's letters.
Yeah, some of them were just boring things. Congratulations on the christening. Welcome to your new home. But some of them was genuine money. So that was a really good letter. Or some with some CDs.
You're joking, of course.
No, I did these things, but I've already been in trouble for it, and I've also apologised. I know it's wrong to steal, but I weren't well then. I didn't know what I was doing. I diminished responsibility. So, I did that for a while. And then one day, I stopped off to watch a football match on the rec. I was posting the letters, and there was some men playing football. I thought, I'll stand and watch this for a while. This will cheer old Russ up. Still, I didn't refer to myself in the third person then, but I thought one day I will, and perhaps I'll just leave a gap in my thoughts for that to take place. So I was watching the football occurring, a good match, and then suddenly, the ball went out, and I always, if a ball comes towards me, I always panic a little bit, because it means you've got to kick that ball back. I'm like, oh no, this is a test of masculinity, the ball's rolling towards me, I've got to kick it back. And whenever I kick a ball, but remember when I was young, I was out with my dad relishes the opportunity if a ball bounces towards him, because he could do a magnificent pinpoint pass back to the people, perhaps, after having flicked it up and kneed it about, bounced it on his shoulder and stuff. Me, I always hoof it skyward. It sort of always will go sort of vertical like that, or it'll spin off an angle, or my foot will catch in the turf and my ankle will twist, and I'll sort of skitter about like a dolly bird on a broken heel. And and when they saw me, and they saw my postal sack, right, and they goes to me, and I was watching the football, the ball comes towards me, I sort of hoofed it skyward, and then that person had to go and retrieve the ball from further away than it initially was before I got involved in the operation. And he goes, "Get back to your work, you scab! Do your work, you scab, you scab!" And I was like, "Oh, sorry, I do apologise. How can I help?" And they were the postmen on strike, playing football to keep spirits up, and they saw me with that red bag. I was hated, I was a scab.
How old were you?
18, 19. It's horrible being a scab. I hated it. Now I know a bit more about being a scab. I would never do it again. It's bad to be a scab. The miners, of course. Oh, what Thatcher done to them? Stockpiling coal, using army people in police uniforms. Terrible business. Crushed this country's economy in many ways and broke the spirit of socialism. But I contributed to a little bit. But I'll tell you what was good is I got a free Frank Sinatra best of CD.
You didn't get a free one, did you?
Oh no, I
nicked
stole
it.
someone else's.
It wasn't like a perk for you.
I thought that was part of the job. I'll tell you one good thing about being a postman: you get a big bag of stuff every morning. It's a real pick and mix of stuff. Book tokens. Oh no, I see your auntie's died, Carol. Never mind, on we go. Posting lovely letters, things
Once,
are getting better.
When I was, I did a paper round of, free newspapers. I used to get $7.50 a week for that. It's ridiculous.
That's good when you're a kid, $7.50.
Well, yeah, it's pathetic though.
That's all I got for the Folk Gazette.
Once
I didn't even work for them.
I opened this porch door and there was a box of chocolates there with a post-it note stuck on it saying, "Thanks for everything. I really appreciate your help."
You can't have thought that was for you as a postboy.
Of course I didn't think it was for me.
So what happened next?
I stole the chocolates.
Oh, you stole someone's chocolates.
This is why I feel bad.
There's chocolates.
I left the post-it note, right? So that person who'd done something really good for this other person must have opened their porch and seen a post-it note going, "Thanks for everything you did. Love from Dave." Just that.
Here, take this post-it note. Treasure it always. Clutch this post-it note to your bosom and know that I love you.
I know.
Feel free to use the gum on the back to adhere other objects to things.
I feel terrible, but when you're that, I think it's that age. You
You're
just
amoral.
Don't think.
You're amoral at that age because you can kill creatures.
I wasn't amoral at that age.
Trevor, you're amoral now. now. You've murdered those Italian girls. Where are those Italian girls?
They've gone missing. I don't know where.
Gone missing.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Dead.
No, they're not
dead.
I'll get little note. I'll get post-it notes from them, actually.
Trevor, if I had to take down your trousers, would I find that you were wearing a pair of Gucci knickers?
Probably.
Yes. Where did you get them, Trevor?
Gucci knickers for men.
Why are you wearing a necklace made out of earlobes?
That is not earlobes.
Oh, God. It's even worse than I first suspected.
These are sun-dried
You're
raisins.
an animal. You dirty little devil. You mucky little pup.
Not at all.
Have they actually gone missing?
They leave me little post-it notes.
There's probably a box of chocolates originally, but he probably snaffled them off. Thank you for looking after us, Mr. Trevor. Here is a Kinder Egg. Matt Morgan, I'll have that. I can use the foil to wipe me Harris. That's the way you live your life.
You just admitted to stealing actual post.
What?
Love letters and things.
So what? People's feelings are replaceable, aren't they? One minute you feel love, next day you feel hate, next day it's jealousy, next day it's shall I murder that Italian girl, next day why did I murder that Italian girl? Feelings are constantly changing. Chocolate, once it's gone, it's gone. Don't just look back, look to me like a ponderous MP then, all his face all like a fish.
Trying to get a word in.
Go on then, what is your word going to be?
Diarrhea. It's going to be, we should say that stealing's bad. I feel
Stealing
bad.
is
We
obviously
shouldn't
bad.
say that stealing is bad.
What? Why not, Trev?
Because we should expect that the people that listen to this have some kind of innate moral sensibility. They don't need to be told that stealing is wrong.
Oh yeah, because they've
You
got us
two
their
need to be
moral
told that,
guardian.
maybe, but
I
everyone
don't
else
steal anymore.
I don't
trust
steal.
the listeners
Trevor, you
that
knocked
they
over
know.
an old man's wall.
You knocked over a one-legged man's wall
That
and
ain't
then
stealing.
lied about it.
That isn't stealing.
It's stealing people's
That
dreams.
is being socially confident with your actions.
G was there that day, he can corroborate this. You smashed down an old man's wall, then you drove off, and when I phoned you to ask about it, you said, oh, I think I might have heard a bin lid rattle. What that was rattling was an old man who fought in a war for this country's dreams,
He
Trevor
didn't
Locke.
fight in a war.
How did he lose his leg then?
In a war! That's how,
wasn't
Trevor.
in a war.
In a war against lying and knocking down people's walls. A war that he was winning until you came along with your wall-knocking, lying ways, wall-knocking
He
lie
was too
boy.
attached to that wall. How can you be
lie.
proud of a wall? He shouldn't have been.
Trevor,
No,
try
I
telling that
taught
to
him
the
a
people of
lesson.
Berlin in the late 80s. Try telling that to the Emperor Hadrian. Walls are there for a reason, Trevor. Like the metaphorical wall that protects the virginity of the Italian girls that you have murdered.
Oh,
Let's
stop
listen
it.
to a story about Oliver Cromwell, sung by Elvis Costello. But before that, to advertise something else on this brilliant Six Music station. Listen to Russell Brand on Six Music. I'd rather be anywhere else than here today. Sentiments screeched in broken Italian by the poor girls Trevor Locke has trapped in his spare bedroom. Poor Mares. Actually, you gave him your bed, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
More out of perversion than kindness, I imagine.
Where are you sleeping?
I'm sleeping on the sofa.
He doesn't sleep there, of course. He sits up all night fumbling, listening to those poor girls trying to inhibit them. We're talking about jobs today. Got this one from Crip in Notts. He goes, I used to work in a maggot farm and it stunk. My mum chucked me out after 2 days. From Crip in Notts. Terrible job.
A maggot farm?
A maggot farm?
Yeah.
I suppose for fishing, is it? What else would you need maggots for?
Yeah, must
Flies to grow flies.
Grow flies. Trevor, you could use them
Why
to
do you need
devour the
flies?
decomposing bodies of your victims.
fly fishing.
Yeah.
Fly fishing, flies, mostly to do with the fishing industry. Long email here from Millie. She says, when we do the show up in Manchester, can her friend come and see it? Yes, you can. Contact Adam here at Six Music. You can come and see us in Manchester if you want that. Oh, it's Lindsay from Flint in North Wales. All right, Lindsay. And she says that I don't look like Justin Hawkins. Thank you very much. That's very comforting. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it, though. He is nice and good looking and that. It's good to look like who you are just yourself, ain't it? Cocky Locky, have you got any jobs for us?
Can we ring up Catherine in a minute? Because
Why? Who is Catherine?
Well, listen, she just has sent this text. It says, for 1 month, my job was to answer the emergency phone calls of people trapped in lifts.
Brilliant.
I think that'd be quite funny. She says it was tragicomic.
Tragicomic, so it's comic, but tragic.
Because somebody obviously died.
Oh, Trevor, not everyone's
No,
life is like
no
your
one would
own,
have died.
littered with the deaths of innocent people. Something that Trevor has just learned to live with. Trevor now just sees death as punctuation in his life. Later on in the show, we'll be chatting to Noel Gallagher if he picks up his phone. Might ring up some other people, mightn't we? We'll have some... Matt's going to do a cultural review of culture. Trevor Cocky Lockie's going to do a sonic enigma. What is it going to be today, Trev? Be exciting, will it?
It's going to be
Don't tell us the
Brown Eyed
answer.
Girl by... Oh, no.
Oh, Trevor, how long have you been doing
You-
these sonic enigmas? You've not realised the basic tenets of it. OK, well, there's going to be plenty more from us. Text us if you want to tell us something on 64046 or email us at russell.6music@bbc.co.uk. But now, well, let's listen to some news, shall we? OK, let's have some news.
BBC. 6 Music.
This is Russell Brand on 6 Music. I'm here with Matt Morgan, little Trevor Locke. We're talking about jobs and stuff that people have done. This is from Aaron. He goes, I used to work in a chemist and once had to explain to an old TCP man how to use Germaloids. Nice start to a Saturday morning. Horrible start.
What does that mean?
I suppose it has to go put it on your
cream.
bum.
Oh, hemorrhoid cream, is it?
Hemorrhoid cream. Oh, hemorrhoid cream.
Hemorrhoids.
I got hemorrhoid. I got a hemorrhoid. I used to take it out in the pram, but now it don't love me no more since it's been a teenager. There's another one here. This is from Leroy, as we used to say to Leroy Rossini. One job I had to talk to old people on the phone about pensions. Once I shamelessly flirted with a husky-voiced 70-year-old woman after forgetting her age. That's from Leroy. You should never have forgotten that. Adam, have you got that person on the phone that's supposed to be on the phone now that the news has ended? Trevor Locke, what jobs have you done?
Well, I used to sell advertising. It made me cry.
Why?
Because I was rubbish at it.
All right, I'll be a person on the receiving end. You do what you'd have done. I'm just at home living my life.
What happened was...
No, let's act it out.
All right, let me set the scene. I've got a script here on a piece of paper. You're not allowed to deviate from the script.
You're not allowed to deviate from it under any circumstances.
The script. The phones are special. You've got a normal phone and then there's an earpiece that your manager listens to and coaches you. So, and I'm ringing the editors and the publishers of big newspapers in Europe.
Big newspapers, yeah. Okay, all right. So I'll be the person that you're calling, Trev. Hello, I am the publisher of a big newspaper, but the phone's not rang yet. I'm called Steve.
You're called Dag, and you're in
Dag.
You're in Dag, and you're in Norway.
Hello, I'm Dag. I'm in Norway. Really good here. I look out the window. I see some Norway.
Except I wouldn't get through to you. I'll just get the secretary.
God, get on with the call.
called Dag Secretary Face.
Hello.
Yes?
Can I speak to your editor, please?
Why? What do you want? I'm Dag Secretary.
I was just wondering how much you...
What are you
spend
wondering
on
about?
Well, we've got the European Campaign Planner. It's one of the... I don't know if you've heard of it.
No, because you smell a dead rats and things. You might have something to do.
Yes, you're quite right. I'm very sorry.
I'm not quite right. You're racist. You're a racist man on telephone.
Who's not? Who's racist? Russell's
who's saying-
Japanese, Norwegian.
You want to speak to Dag? You want to speak to Dag?
I don't think you call him that.
we've lost Russell Brand
I think
now.
you call him...
You want to speak to my boss, Dag?
Can we speak
Okay.
to Russell Brand again now?
No.
You're channeling someone.
I'm Dag Secretary, Mrs. Dag Secretary. You want to speak to Dag?
Okay, but put his foot in a bucket of warm water. That should bring him back.
Hello, I'm Dag. What do you want to sell me?
Well, I'm wondering if you've thought of taking out an advert in the European Campaign Planner.
Yes, I was thinking about it yesterday. I'm thinking it very nice to put an advert in the European Campaign Planner, but I think if pervert try to ring me, sell me, I'm not so interested now. What do you want?
£25,000 to get a half page.
What are you going to do with that? Pay for a sex change operation, but keep your original gender, then have a vagina as well, then use yourself like you're your own pocket pinball machine?
I imagine this was what it was like to be at drama school, and it's been tremendous fun, boys.
Now listen, that is what Trevor's job was actually like. I've recreated it from tapes that were kept at the time by the Metropolitan Police Force to keep Trevor under some kind of control. Now then, who's this on the phone, Trevor? Is that
Catherine,
girl you wanted to talk to?
yeah.
Catherine, are you there, dear?
Yeah, hello.
Do you want to speak to Doug? There, you can't speak to Doug because he's made up. Catherine, hello, love. So Trevor said that you were going to tell us about something to do with... oh, yeah, what did you used to do as a job?
Well, when I was in Sydney, I was a temp for a month answering the emergency phone calls of people that were trapped in lifts.
Well, they shouldn't give that job to someone as a temp. You should be trained for
with
that.
no training.
So what, like when there's a phone in a lift, that you'd get a phone call from there?
Yeah, basically, and it wasn't very technical, so people would be trapped in the lift and obviously panicking, and they would press a button, and they would assume that from our end, there'd be a computer with an exact description of where they were, but actually it just came through to a normal telephone, so when I picked it up, I didn't know who it was going to be, and then we would have to work out where they were.
Okay. What? Sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it was difficult because...
But Catherine, can we ever really picture what it was like without doing a reconstruction? The answer to that question is no. Let's do a reconstruction. Hello, I'm trapped in the elevator!
Can you tell me where you are, what location you're on, and what number lift it is?
It's like the elevator. I'm in a little box. It's frightening in here.
Do you know where the box is? Is it in a shopping centre?
Yeah, that's right, shopping centre. Do you want to speak to Doug?
And do you know what floor you're on or in between?
I'm between 9th floor and 55th floor. Scary frightened.
I just have to put you on hold while I'm laughing with my colleague.
Don't put me on hold. Do you want to buy some adverts?
We're going to arrange for a service technician to come and see you.
Thank you. I like it here now. I'm very happy here. I put some plants near the door. It's changed.
service technician is on his way. But in reality, that would mean he's stuck in traffic about 2 hours away. But I would reassure you that he was on his way.
Good, yeah, I think we can see now what that job is like.
And if you want, I can ring people to let them know that you're trapped and that you're going to be delayed. So I could be quite helpful as well.
So you can be quite helpful in relaying messages, but ultimately you're a person trapped in a sort of a coffin that goes from one floor to another, but is stuck there.
Yeah, but you can't suffocate. You couldn't suffocate, but people...
That's reassuring. You can't suffocate, you know. Try not to panic. You can't suffocate. But I will warn you, there is a ghost. We call him the Shaft Monster. The Shaft Monster, he'll soon be among us. Yeah, sounds worrying, Catherine. What did you do after you left that job? Come back to good old England?
No, well, I was travelling around for a little bit. I did various other things.
This is the point where Matt normally goes, I went to Australia once, I went down to sea, I fell off of a boat, I lost my mind in Australia, I listened to That's Entertainment on the radio and it made me feel happy. Don't you, Matt?
No.
Yes, you do. Silly old Matt Morgan. Why do we listen to that lad? Hey, Catherine, thank you very much for your call. You've loaded things up. Would you like a Six Music t-shirt?
Yes, please.
Right, design a Six Music t-shirt, Trevor, you selfish pig. Eat some fudge, then design a Six Music t-shirt. And this perhaps might be a lesson to you, Trevor Locke. Yeah. Do not make a promise unless you're prepared to keep it.
What sort of promises have I made that I haven't
made
kept?
a promise to give her a Six Music t-shirt to Catherine.
Did not.
Someone made the promise, Trev.
Yeah, it was
someone.
Your dirty little mouth.
Let's not get bogged down in who promised t-shirts. The fact is the promise has been made and it should be fulfilled. Catherine,
I'm happy to do that. I'm a creative kind of guy. I'll come up with a t-shirt. Do you remember sleeveless or long sleeve or medium sleeve? Catherine?
Small size, short sleeve, please.
Small size, short, skinny fit, nice.
Yeah.
What do you do as a job now?
Trevor, I bet you what you'll do is you'll just nick one of the t-shirts off of the various Italian corpses that are laying on your patio and write Six Music on it in lipstick or blood and then send it off to Catherine.
And if I did, it would be art.
That's true, Trev, in a way. That's true. Exactly. Go on, Catherine, Trevor's asking you some questions about what your job is now.
Oh, it's a bit boring.
Yeah, okay.
We'll leave that. That's the last thing we need to know about as a boring job. Okay. Catherine, thank you very much for your call. It's been really nice talking to you. Carry on listening to the show. Bye-bye. Love you. Bye. Everyone, there's been a lot of text messages saying, God, I'd like to come and see you do stand-up comedy. Well, you can. Go to russellbrand.tv. You can see when me and Trevor Locke are doing a tour. Matt will be with us sometimes because we're doing our Six Music show all over the country, aren't we? It's going to be good. We're going to all sorts of places. Manchester, Edinburgh,
Bristol,
Reading,
Northampton.
Doing radio shows from Northampton. That's a homecoming gig for Trevor Locke.
Certainly is.
Oh God, Can you imagine what that's going to be like?
Pretty depressing. Yeah.
I would imagine it'll be quite depressing, Trev. At very least, quite depressing is what it'll be. Should we go to the New Young Pony Club now, shall we?
Should we go there or should we listen to them?
Let's go there as well.
All right.
Do you know what that means, though? Do you know what it means?
Tell us.
It means when you make people take their clothes off, get down on all fours, and then ride them as if they're a pony.
Do you reckon it does mean that? Or is that Trevor's interpretation?
Yeah.
What kind of sex act is that? People don't have a portal on their spines. People don't have... There's no engagement. There's no point of engagement on someone's back.
Submission.
It's submission and it's the delaying of that.
Trevor's clenched his teeth when he said delaying. He clenched them.
I didn't. I was about to sneeze.
The delaying. It's the delaying I like.
I didn't.
I like to delay you. Oh, you little pony. I'll delay your pony boy. You want to be in my pony club? Get ready to be delayed. I'm gonna delay your brains out. Delayed.
I've seen pictures of it.
I'm not surprised, Trevor. I bet you took those photographs that you posed from, and I bet you forced the subjects of the photo to be involved.
It leaves me cold, Russ. It really does.
It probably does, because you probably spent all your body fluids while doing it. You've probably got nothing circulating within you. You're probably like a withered little plastic carrier bag of a man. A carrier bag wearing spectacles, exhausted in a corner. That is how I see you. Cock-a-doodle-lock-a-dare. Cock-a-doodle-lock-a-dare. So I know everyone. Matt, Trev, we're all a bunch of pals. We're all a bunch of right lads having a laugh together.
Right.
Why don't we listen to... I don't know if I can listen
I bet 1% of the audience population of this show has done a pony club type.
Send 64046.
Yeah, I reckon
64046. Send it, but 1%. That would probably mean 1%. That would be
one person.
8
person. 9 people.
9 people. Yeah, that's 1%. Well, you think we've got 900 people listening?
No, 9,000.
Everyone who's listening, send us a text message now. Hooray! Everyone go nuts. Go nuts in the street, I tell you. Society's crumbling. Let's listen to this New Young Pony Club and see if there's any information or evidence in the song to suggest that what Trevor Locke's saying is true.
Well, that's the name of the band.
There won't be. It's like listening to the Beatles and hoping to find, something to do with a beetle in it.
Is it?
Yeah, that's exactly the mistake you've made.
It's
exactly
not
that.
Well, actually, I listened to a Beatles song once, and it went, pinch me, stag beetles on sports day, lots of stag beetles everywhere, crushed one, one got on my thumb, I had to go flick, get him off. So that was my favourite Beatles song ever. Let's listen to this song that Trevor uses to support himself through lonely, lonely nights. This is Russell Brand on 6 Music. Oh, yeah, Trevor, there was definitely an air of sort of sexual mind games.
That's
it's a sleazy little song, isn't it?
The Scissor Sisters.
Yeah, I can give you
Scissor Sisters means
lesbians
sexual
doing that thing.
Oh, dear.
It does mean that, Trevor. Something wrong with that. Trevor, don't just recoil from lesbianism because you're so prejudiced.
Oh, dear. No, that's not right.
As a man who pretends to be a lesbian, you should be a little more supportive. You pretend to be a lesbian on MySpace because it tricks people. Here's a message from Jane in Maidstone. I used to be a zookeeper and once had to hide a dead penguin under my coat to avoid distressing small children. I wasn't even at work that day. Oh, Jane! How did the penguin die? What were you doing with it?
You've added that bit.
I added the last bit.
That's a nice little image, isn't it?
Yeah, of a woman sort of holding a dead penguin under a coat. But I wonder what it smelled like. I wonder what it felt like. Because when you feel the body of a dead animal, Trev, you'll know about this. Oh, you can feel all their ribs and all their organs.
We've done a lot
of
stuff with dead animals, haven't we?
A lot of stuff with dead rats that me and Matt used to be.
You can feel their rib
fixated
cage.
with.
You can feel their spine. It's horrible.
Because the only element that's gone is that magical spark of life. It makes you question what death really is. Go on, Trev, say something profound.
I'm not going to. I'm going to start with this. What if, when this is all done one way, it all comes the other way?
Yeah, what do you mean?
What the hell does that mean?
It means, like, when we've done this cycle of life, what happens if it all starts going backwards?
Well, we live life again backwards, starting from death, going towards birth. It wouldn't make any difference if you didn't have a cross-referential point.
Why would that happen?
Because it could happen, couldn't it? Why shouldn't it happen?
How would it happen? You wouldn't know that it was going backwards.
It wouldn't matter, though, Matt, would it? It wouldn't matter, because this could be that backwards. It would be irrelevant.
Yeah.
It would be irrelevant.
Yeah, but it'd be quite
there is
interesting.
no objective quality to infancy that makes it necessarily formative.
Exactly, but what I'm saying is death and birth are the same thing. You're saying, where did that magic spark go?
Except when you die, you don't disappear into someone's womb, and if you do...
But
shame on you, mister!
But where did you come from, Where there,
Essex, Grace, where'd you come from?
The same problem,
Grandad? Yeah, Grandad, you big old boffin!
It's the same problem.
What's the same problem?
Where you came from and where you're going.
Why? What's the problem? I like it.
Well, the problem you just said
nice
is it's
to be
all dead.
born excited.
Where's that magic spark of life gone? Where's it come from in the first place?
Interesting. Well, I suppose it's evident and prevalent in all things, ain't it, Trevor?
Well, that thing that you find in your hanky doesn't have it, does it?
What, my dinkle?
Yes.
Why's that in a hanky?
Because it's playing ghosties! There's a little spooky ghost, rent-a-ghost.
At what point does that spark of life get, in the baby?
Trevor, hopefully never, you dirty devil. There's a letter here from Matt in Tipton.
It's electricity, isn't it?
It's a form
electricity.
of energy. It's essentially, it's a form of electricity.
It's electromagnetic pulses.
It's like the Green Cross Code, man, Trev. It's basically that guy.
Okay, thanks.
Now, a mate of mine works in a pork processing plant in the Black Country. His job is to load pig carcasses. What's the problem?
Sounds like a really rude thing to say.
My mate of mine works... I'm going to read that again, and we can all work out just where Trevor's mind is. A mate of mine works in a pork processing plant in the Black Country. What's the bit that's making him laugh?
In the Black Country.
In the Black Country, it's a part of the Midlands, Trev.
I find it funny.
What do you think it is,
I like
then?
the plosive peas. And
Someone's bottom. You like
processing.
Pork processing. I'd like a pork processing plant, please. Yeah. Hey, Polly, give us a kiss on my pork processing plant.
Come on, get on with it.
His job, this fella, is to load...
Killing pigs.
Of course.
Is it?
To a point. Yeah. His job is to load... Matt, don't just shout killing pigs out of the world. His job is to load pig carcasses into a massive spinning blade machine which shaves the hair off their porky skin. Oh. He then has to burn any remaining hair off with a blowtorch. They're currently recruiting, if you fancy it, Trev, it says, from Matt in Tipton. I wouldn't like to shave pigs for a job, would you?
Wouldn't mind.
Matthew.
I've done some pretty bad jobs.
Oh, look at Matt. What a crap segue. Russ,
well, you haven't asked me about my jobs because you're challenged by the fact that I've done hardcore jobs.
No, I'm not. I just think it's like, I'm going to make people think this about me. I'm going to say I've done a job where I was a trained killer.
You haven't done hardcore jobs. You once babysat for somebody.
No, I was a I've done a building.
Look at him trying to create a certain impression of himself.
Door-to-door carpet cleaning salesman.
1 week it's, I've got a fine art degree. Next day is, I used to kill people on an estate.
Why do you keep saying kill
I worked
people?
for a gypsy. I worked for a gypsy throwing coins across a lake. It was the only work we could get.
What drivel you come out with?
This is a letter from Tim. He goes, I agree with Matt. When I was a lad, I had a paper round and I only got paid $7.50 a week, as well as doing 6 days a week. But one Christmas, my boss, who can only be described as Mr. Scrooge, told me to put leaflets in every paper I had to deliver, telling of how hard we work and how we work for all weather and how we are always on time, when truthfully I did all that and he just sat reading magazines about pretty ladies with a fear of clothes. To rub salt in the wound, this pay rise was an incredible 10 extra p a week. I thought it was cool. When me and my mate sought revenge and left all the papers soaking in a big puddle until we got sacked. Never mind, eh, Tim?
The leaflets.
Fight the power.
You used to get more if you had to put leaflets into the papers. The thing is with those paper rounds, and everyone realised it in the end, you didn't have to deliver them because they never
just throw them. How would anyone know? No one wants those
Well, I think
papers.
the people
Make
who
it work
didn't
for
get
4
their
weeks.
newspapers would know, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but they don't care.
they're
They
free-
don't care.
free
Oh, the
newspapers
free
they don't even
newspaper.
want.
Oh, it's a relief, isn't it?
So it's an actual relief, thank God.
When you get the job, they say we're going to phone around and make sure that people
they've
get them,
not
but
got
they
time.
never do.
They might do a few random calls for the first week, but it soon dies off. I used to deliver these leaflets to raise money for a hospital, and I used to nickel the money.
You're such a good guy. What?
I used to nickel the money.
Such a bad
Oh
guy.
God.
Yeah, I'm a bad guy. Say hello to the bad guy. Yeah, come on in, Matt. Tell us about one of your jobs. See if you can make it plausible.
Once I was a builder's labourer.
Oh, great. Well, thanks very
tough
much.
work.
We'll be back after the news. Go on, what happened? What happened with that
I've
job?
seen you on a building site once for a
Good it was.
comedic video thing for a TV show.
I did well on that site.
You didn't.
I looked like John Inman, didn't I? I was in a plank.
Pathetic. Couldn't hold a plank. Dropped a load of concrete.
Oh, it's hard
He
work.
responds if he's around extra masculine men. He responds by camping up. I
He
don't
did.
know why.
I
what
saw
sort of
that
response that is.
VT. He tried to get off with one of them, didn't he?
You go, oh, hello, boys.
Are you married by any chance, lads? Oh, hello.
Yeah, there's that
Do you want me to
moment.
help mixing that muck? Hey, I'm only messing. Do you want me to put a bit of sand in your pipes?
It was terrible, wasn't it?
It's all right. It's nice to do that.
But anyway, I
Exciting to
was
be
ever so
builder.
butch when I did it. I used to clean bricks.
Yeah, like
with an
all
axe.
butch people, you use the word butch.
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to work like that and just tap things. Yeah.
Trevor, what did you used to tap?
I worked for
the
Bob.
delicate skulls
I
of
used to
Italian girls.
Go out with Bob the Builder.
But was
Not
he called?
go out with him. I used to go out on jobs with him.
No wonder he always looks so cheesed off on that programme. His sex life includes something called ponying, where he gets Trevor Lock riding around on his back, searching desperately for an orifice. Horrible little man you are.
Oh,
We will fix it. We will fix it. It's going to take a lot of therapy, Bob, to recover from that nightmare, let me tell you. So, okay, right, so go on. Were you going to say something about this labouring site, or is it simply to authenticate your accent?
no, it was sort of a man. Oh, you. It was very difficult. I had to mix up concrete. I had to roll cigarettes for the bloke. He was the brother-in-law of the girl I was going out with.
Yeah.
And I think I used to get 20 quid a day, which was pretty good then.
Good in them days.
Compared to $7.50 a week.
It's a big step up the
That's
ladder.
nepotism, then. That's how you got the job.
Yeah,
basically.
but he was doing me a favour because I could never afford to take her anywhere. No, he was really nice. Once I had to look after his twins, and that's the beginning of a hilarious story.
Well, after this next track, we are going to listen to what can only be described as a dull anecdote. No, it'll be very good. So we'll listen to that. We'll talk about other people's jobs. Send us your
Stop
job.
rattling your
We've
belt.
got the Sonic Enigma. Oh, sorry for rattling my
Why
belt.
have you undone your belt?
Because
Why would a man do that in a studio?
Because the prong went all bent and the belt come undone.
Wow,
So I had to
that's a
bend the
metaphor
prong
for
back
something,
straight.
isn't it? A bent
Not everything's a
prong
metaphor
round
for
your
something,
midriff.
Trevor. Not everything's a metaphor. I'll tell you another thing we'll talk about. I'll tell you about Master Su, who came on my TV, a TV
Came
show.
on my TV.
He come on my TV. I live inside the little box, right, and I have to tell people things about Big Brother. Right, Master Su came on the show. I'll tell you some stuff about him. That's well interesting. But first, should we listen to a record? It'll be Denis, I really like you a lot. Denis, I find you attractive in that. Denis, should we have a crack at a relationship? Oh, go on.
Oh, we don't need to listen to it now, surely.
Well, I've given you the essence.
It's beautiful.
It's nice, isn't it? Blondie with Denis, listen to Russell Brand on 6 Music. I mean, I think pretty much I captured the essence of the song with my prelude.
I remember when Russell suggested that song on the phone the other day. I want Denny by Blondie. He
Denny.
thought it was Denny, like Denny, some geezer who runs a cafe.
Well, it can't be a girl, can it?
It can be a girl.
Actually, I thought it was Dennis, and she just sang it like that rhythmically.
The original song was sung by a man, and
Exactly.
it's called Denise. And they changed it to Denis, the French pronunciation of Dennis, the
I
male
thought it
name.
was Dennis. Should be Dennis.
You thought it was Denny?
I thought it was Dennis. I've been ponying about all morning with Julie in the hot blazing Aberdeen sun. She's ginger but quite sturdy, says Lee.
So there you are. That's one of the 1% coming out.
One of the 1%. They're all coming to the surface now, Trevor. Mm-hmm. Hi, Russell, Matt and Cocky. Absolutely loving the show. I once worked for a toy store in Lakeside, your manor, Russell, and had to dress up as a 7-foot bear to entertain the kids. Well, it's weird, isn't it, 7-foot bear? I mean, that's just necessary because you couldn't dress up as a 2-foot bear because how would you do it? You'd have to get someone really tiny. The suit was like an oven and you couldn't see after a while because the eyes would steam up as you breathed. You couldn't last more than 20 minutes and the worst part was mothers with prams ganging up on you to play with their children and trapping you so you couldn't get away. The occasional punch in the unmentionables from horrible kids wasn't too much fun either. Jay from Essex. Jay, I'm sorry that you were punching your unmentionables.
When I was a little boy, there was a robot that was just on wheels.
Yeah.
Right? And I was about, I don't know, 5 or something. And my mum said, go and go and say hello to the robot. It was like a cheap rip-off of R2-D2 without being part, you know what I mean? It was
there a person in it?
No, but there was a speaker on it and there was a bloke talking.
Operating it, yeah.
And my mum had obviously gone to this bloke and said, oh, my little boy's name's Matthew, right?
Yeah.
So I walked up to this robot and he went, hello, Matthew, like that. And for about, well, it changed my life.
Why?
Because I couldn't believe this thing knew who I was.
My God, have we met? Allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man.
Maybe I've met you in the Dagobah system.
Interesting that our paths should cross again. Do you have information for me? Am I your only hope? Yeah, I liked it when you was a child and you had to dress up as Paddington.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
You look funny. I look at that picture of you sometimes because as a child's costume, there's a picture of Matthew dressed up. You can look at his MySpace page if you want. Right, he's dressed up as Paddington and he's completely consumed by the costume, aren't you?
Absolutely unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, I was
It
consumed
smothers
by
you.
Yeah.
my nan and my mum's lust to win a competition, which overrode
Lust.
any sort of maternal care.
Absolutely.
Right, we've got to win the competition. I can't breathe. Shut up. You look great. He looks great. Let's get him out there.
The thing is, I had a little hole that was smaller than a fruit pastel. Right?
Did you know that because you tried to eat one?
Well, I was offered one. Oh, look, fruit pastel's going round. I wasn't allowed to take my mask off in case I shattered the illusion I wasn't Paddington Bear.
Hold on, who's this little un-Paddington? Kill him! Kill the un-Paddington! He misled us!
And they went, oh, look, he can't eat the sweets through the hole. Look, he
Well,
can't
they
even
enjoyed
eat
it.
Yeah, and then they
It's no wonder
showed
you're
other
like you
people
are.
it, and then
They did what they like as if it was a trick. Look at Matt, he can't get
can't eat
everything.
him. Oh, look, he can't get him.
Were you in
And
there all
that's it.
snuffling and crying?
I think I wet myself in there.
You always wet yourself. This is why you can't go to the toilet, and it's under the strictest conditions. And then bizarrely, one day he decides to wipe his bum on an aeroplane. Goes from one extreme to the other.
Right.
He goes from
All right.
Kenneth Williams to Bobby Sands in a 5-minute period.
Russell,
Unbelievable.
Shut up. What about this morning when I went round your house and I was going, come on, hurry up, come on up. This is disgusting. He's standing there cleaning his teeth at the sink, weeing in the sink at the same time. He goes, turns around at me with all toothpaste around his face. Goes, look, multitasking.
Saves time.
So that,
And I didn't even bother to turn the tap on to rinse my toothbrush either. I just went, what? Good for the goose is good for the gander. Wanna try? And I weed all over it. I didn't really. So what? It's only wee, isn't it? Wee's nice. Everyone makes a fuss about wee, but Madonna puts it on herself in the shower, so I once read. I don't think there's nothing wrong with wee. I like it.
Well done.
Don't drink the stuff or anything, but there's no point worrying about where it's going. Much worse, I think, to wipe your bum on an aeroplane. In
Look,
full
basically,
view of the public.
we're both disgusting.
You're picking your nose even now,
I'm
Matthew.
scratching the inside of my nose.
Right, okay, oh yeah, sorry. I do apologise, but you can see how confusion might occur. Hi, says David from Twickenham. I thought he was called David Twickenham. I used to work in the gift shop at Westminster Abbey. A surprising number of American tourists didn't know what tea towels were. I like that. Like, that is, why are you telling us this? A surprising number of American tourists didn't know what tea towels were. I told them, but because of rationing during the war, people didn't have enough fabric for full-size tablecloths, so they used tea towels instead. That's not true, I assume. But why?
Of course it's not, he's joking.
But that's a weird lie.
No, it's not.
But why tell? It's not like I would have said, oh, tea towels, they're for mopping up. Like a lot of English people during the war, we ate octopuses and we used to always had to be wrapped up in a tea towel to comfort them, to create a womb-like
So
environment.
you've gone too far, they're not going to believe that.
They might. One of them bought the Tower of London off of a bloke, didn't he? They're naive people. They are. sure. Not Noam Chomsky or Bill Hicks or Richard Pryor, but no, a lot of them's very naive. Trevor, what are you looking at like that? Because it looks like you're staring at your own abdomen.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at an email that we've got in here.
Why is it written on your abdomen? What kind of, have you got a computer in your tum-tum? Who are you, Metal Mickey?
Listen to this.
Too good to miss.
The best job I ever had so far has to be when I lived in Amsterdam. And I worked
Why are you doing that voice?
Because it's more exciting than my own voice.
That's true.
And I worked as a personal assistant for the house.
Hey, I worked as a personal assistant
for a house.
I was standing out in the corridor and some wise guy come and touched me on the dick. I don't know why I done it. It made me feel quite sick. Go on in, Trev. Carry on.
There's a lot of surreal nonsense coming out today.
Look, I worked as a PA for some transvestites.
I worked as a PA for some transvestites.
Yeah, in Amsterdam, cool. So it's probably true. They were nice ladies.
Do that voice again. It was good, Trev. Eat some fudge.
They were nice ladies, but when you couldn't get on the wrong side of them, they were permanently premenstrual as far as that was possible, being men and all. My role revolved around.
They are premenstrual because they ain't menstruated yet.
Hey.
Not having a womb.
Well done. My role revolved around cleaning and fixing their wigs and costumes mainly. I hated sewing as well. All those pesky sequins were a right pain. But I used to do everything else too, like buying shoes, tights, thongs, glitter, and those hammock things to make their nethers go round straight like a teddy bear's.
That's why it's called the Netherlands. I've always wondered.
I don't think you've lived until you've had to go shopping in a foreign country for size 12 glam rock platform shoes in a certain shade of pink. And
is that a man or a woman?
Trevor, what's going on?
It's from Romy Lloyd Foxer.
I've just looked at the piece of paper that email was purportedly on. It was just a picture of Trevor with his own bottom splayed open, winking.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means.
Trevor, what's wrong with you? What kind of hieroglyphs is this? Come on, Matty Morgan, tell us that story. I'm sorry that I wasn't supportive enough. You know I've always loved you ever since we first met. Tell us a story about twin son.
Okay.
Boring!
This is a really good story.
Boring!
Build it up.
This is quite a boring
brilliant.
story.
Matt said, Trevor again said it was as good as the Iliad earlier. Come on,
I didn't say it was as good as the
Once
Iliad.
upon a time. Picture it across the murky seas of time. Matt Morgan, babysitting for twins.
I was babysitting for twins who were about... every time I say twins, can you do that?
Twins.
No, that's going to...
Twins. You didn't say twins that time, but I was getting into it. Little Matty Morgan tells the story. It's going to change everybody's life.
Have you drunk coffee this morning?
No, but I did have a little bit of crack. And I'll tell you this, it's very uplifting. Very uplifting. They should give it to depressed people. No, I haven't. I'm just on an upswing. You don't want to be around when the laughter stops. Crack's bad, obviously. Don't need to say that, but go on.
Yeah, well, I was looking after these two twins. And they were about... I don't know.
Why are we looking after these twins for, mate?
Because it was the builder who I was working with, who was my girlfriend's sister's brother, husband.
Bloody hell, what a complicated world you live in.
Effectively, if I had been married to her, he would have been my brother-in-law.
And everyone would have probably felt a deep sense of regret that she could have done better.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So I'm looking after these two twins. I was 16. I was looking after two...
You shouldn't have been allowed to be
almost a twin yourself at that age, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point, isn't it, Trev? You're almost a twin yourself. There's not a certain age, Trev, where you become twin-like. I don't know how your mind works.
Right, anyway. And their mum had left two little plates with their food on, right? Which like some crisps and those sandwiches like babies have. They're all...
cut the crust off.
Cut the crust off. And
sandwich spread in them, maybe.
Possibly, Russ.
Horrible, that stuff.
Let's not focus.
Wasn't it?
Green bits, red bits. Like Tic Tacs, really, aren't they? Remember Tic Tacs, sweet ones?
It's just like, you know...
Want to try?
When your mum read your story when you were in bed...
Hold on, Mum. Who's this E.T. guy? Baby, what does he want? What makes him tick? What's he after?
Was that a bedtime story?
I believe so, yes. E.T. and the Seven Dwarfs, yes.
See, you didn't pay any attention.
E.T. lived in a forest. He dealt out medicines for HIV to Snow White and the Wicked Queen, as I believe, something like that. Go on.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God.
Go on, now, tell us about the twins, baby.
Okay. And, so I was looking... there was only one high chair, right? And that you couldn't feed them unless you put them in the high chair.
Why?
Because they were babies.
Their backs will flop over.
They weren't fish. They were babies. Anyway.
Hold on, this one's curling up at the ends. That means I'm jealous. That one's flipped over. I'm in love.
And anyway, so I put one in the little high chair, gave her her food.
Yeah. What, was one a girl, one a boy?
No, both girls.
All right.
And then when she was fed, I put her down. But they were dressed identically, and there was only one high chair. And once they mixed in, I didn't know which one I'd fed.
So hold on, what did you... They were in a pen or something, were they? You done when?
What do you know about children?
I don't know, it's a bit like that programme I've been watching recently, Guantanamo Bay. It's a sort of soap opera where people are being treated very badly by the Americans.
Okay, no, they were just running around on the floor.
Yeah. Just scattering around.
They were dressed identically, weren't they?
Toddlers, you know.
Really misleading. Turn your phone off, eat some fudge!
And so I picked up... well, what I did was I tried to work out which one I'd eaten, so I picked her up and looked in her mouth, couldn't see anything.
See if there was some debris.
Smelled.
You're not a dentist.
Smelled if they smelled of sandwiches, couldn't tell the difference.
You smell of sandwiches, Watson. I've deduced that this is the criminal.
Yeah, so then I was going, have you had your dinner? Are you hungry?
We're trying to ask it a question.
So, yeah, they couldn't talk, obviously, no. So then I started to think, oh no, what do I do?
Because you're trying to ascertain which one's eaten, you can't tell at this point.
Yeah,
You've tried looking in the mouth, you've tried asking it outright, have you had some dinner? That's your two methods.
And he's done the sniffing method as well.
He's done the sniffing, that's 3 methods he's used there.
So what I used then was getting a sandwich off the second plate and going up to them and going, do you want that?
So you reacted most strongly.
One of them couldn't be bothered with it, one of them grabbed out for it. So I thought, right, hello.
There, you found it.
That's it. That's the result. The one that wants that one wants a sandwich.
Put her in the chair, feed her, eats the whole thing. Right. Lovely. Then later on, it's really tiring looking after
You're
children.
satisfied your work is
I'm laying
done.
on the sofa, nearly asleep, and they're watching some video that they wanted, right?
Crikey, I hope they did one and it weren't a video you wanted, otherwise there's 2 more children scarred for life.
No, it was something about little colourful people running around.
Blimey, that sounds like your videos, Matt, to tell you the absolute truth. None of them were doing horsebacky rides on each other, were they? Anyway...
And so then I looked over and thought, look at them. And I noticed that one was sitting there all fat and full up, and one of them was eating tissue.
One of them was all sated, gloating back, smoking a cigar, patting himself on the belly, and the other one was eating the carpet.
Actually eating like tissue out of a bin.
So you just stuffed one with full of grub, and the other one was starving.
Yeah.
I hope you immediately rectified that by making a sandwich.
I panicked and...
panicked! Thank God! Thank God Matt is here! Thank God there was someone there to go into a flap.
Just stuff.
What do you mean, just stuff?
Mini cheddars.
Oh, Matt, that's not food for a baby. I bet he didn't even take the wax off.
How old are these twins now?
11.
Well, actually, one of them's dead.
Is one of them seriously ill?
Malnourished. I think one of them's not alive. They probably grew up to be my Italian girls. What kind of a life was that for anybody?
No,
they were girls. They were sisters. Are they fine, though?
Absolutely fine.
Strangely competitive around meal times?
Has one got a really chalky bones and the other one stride around all confident, kicking over tables? I can eat whatever I like. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Excuse me. When you've finished, do you think I might have an earwig out your pocket? No! More sandwiches for me. Just one earwig.
I think, imagine Russell had been a twin. How awful.
Absolutely.
Why?
Maybe I think he was a twin. He absorbed the other one's personality.
I ate it.
And nutrients. And there's a little husk Russell somewhere.
Little husk Russell like Dorian Gray, up in the attic, absorbing all my sins. Where does it end and where does it begin? There's no such thing as morality. You might as well live life just doing what you like. Pop out in the garden, have it off. There's no point trying, there's no point crying. One day soon we'll all be dead, you might as well live your life.
An excerpt there from Russell Brand the musical. Still seeking backing.
Don't need no backing, my twin will do that, won't you, Husky? Oh, I feel weak. Subject jobs from Busboy. Hi, I'm a postman and one of my workmates was busting for a crap. What a delightful bit of language.
Well, you read it out.
Busting for a crap. I'm busting for a crap while on delivery, but no toilets nearby. He knocked on the door of the house he was at and asked to use the toilet. The woman said no and shut the door. A couple of minutes later, he knocked on the door again and said, have you got a plastic bag to pick this crap out of your garden? The woman was not impressed. Well, how could she be, Busboy? How could anybody be impressed by that? Trevor, does that make your blood boil?
It does. But you've got to admire his, ingenuity.
Ingenuity? That's not ingenious. I just pull down my trousers and pants and do a whoopsie.
No, I think that's good. Good on him. He did it in a garden. He did it in a garden, didn't do it on the street.
Didn't do it on the street. I once, driving to work, I wasn't driving, I was sat still, right, saw a man in broad daylight just take down his trousers by Euston in London.
Yeah, it's probably a rugby player.
Just do a whoopsie.
Or a rugby player. Rugby players do it.
What do you mean?
Rugby players do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
that's all rugby players.
Yeah, it's like a badge. It's a badge of masculinity.
Do you think that's how Johnny Wilkinson mastered those drop kicks? Just squat, plop, turn and boot. Plop, squat, turn and boot.
50% of all rugby players have defecated in public.
Send us a text. It's another one of Trevor's ridiculous lies.
It's not a lie, it's true.
64046. We've got some great stuff coming up on this show. Cocky Trevor Lockie is going to be doing a Sonic Enigma. Matt Morgan's going to do a nice cultural review. We've got a BBC session track coming up right now. This will be interesting. Let's have a listen to it, and afterwards we're going to discuss it in such detail that blood will come out of your ears.
BBC 6 Music.
Cocky Lockie, you got any emails you want to read out?
No, there was one on the screen I was reading there. It looked quite interesting, but it hasn't been printed off yet.
Oh, what a brilliant story. This guy, imagine that. It's on the screen. But
was I waving to you going, come to me, I've got a text, I've got an email? No, I wasn't.
No, you wasn't.
Yeah, so why did you come to me then?
I just thought you might have something to say. Thought you might like to contribute to the show. After all, you get paid for it.
Russell.
Yes, mate.
It amuses me greatly to think of you doing jobs which aren't on telly or radio.
Why, mate?
Because just the thought of you being a normal person is hilarious to me.
It's ridiculous. It was really embarrassing, wasn't it? What about even that downtime period when all the jobs were destroyed by us? I can't remember which one of us. It was me or you. One of us went all mental and we lost all our jobs. And there was that period where we'd had no money and it was just awful and dull. Do you remember?
I remember, like, getting on the... I remember when... Because now you get cabs everywhere, but when you used to get the tube, and also when we had no money, he used to just get on the tube with no ticket. And I remember once he jumped over the barriers and the London Underground man goes, What are you doing? And he went, I'm from the future. Just say things like that.
I'm from the future. I'm not bound by your rules. That barrier's only there in your mind, man. Let's go.
Things like that a lot. He used to step into the road. This is original to you. This.
Yeah, it is.
He used to step into the road and I'd go, Russell, what are you doing? I'd nearly get run over and go, the motor car is not invented for 50 years. Come on.
We have another 50 years till the first automobile will be invented. They simply cannot run us over. I forbid it.
Do you remember when you could travel on the Underground for free with those tickets that were 18 months old?
Trevor, no, that's you probably with some twins that you've kidnapped. Come on, look, this one's just said its first word. It said £10 fine, £10 fine.
What do you mean, 80?
Well, basically, I'll probably get into trouble now and arrested, but...
I should hope you will.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Permit to travel. That's not on the tube.
No. You just get a ticket. Oh, dear. Look, I heard that if you got a ticket then it was 18 months old...
they'd start working again.
They just worked as a universal free pass on the Underground.
This doesn't work anymore. This
doesn't work anymore, no.
Doesn't it?
No.
They've probably ironed out that loophole.
What with the Oyster card?
Oh, the Oyster card.
Here's a text message. Oh, dear. Look at this.
Go on then, read it out.
It's from CK. Morning, Russ. I think Trev might be right about rugby players. I once went out with one, and he told me he had to eat a poo sandwich on a rugby tour.
Blimey.
Yeah,
why would you ever do that?
Is that a gentleman?
Because you're a rugby player. No, that's a lady.
What's her name? Why don't you credit people, Trevor?
Kat. She's called Kat. Catherine K.
It's as if you're bitter. Someone sends in a text message, Trevor. You should be grateful. You shouldn't be attacking them because their name's Kat. She's called Kat. She thinks she's got rights, but she's actually got none.
Here's one. I'm not a rugby player, and I have never crapped in the street.
What? So that's evidence to the contrary.
So
I suppose that's
just
supportive.
a meaningless thing. I'm not a rugby player, and I've never crapped in the street, but I wouldn't mind crapping on Trev's ridiculous Sonic Enigma.
That's good.
That's from Darren in Belfast.
Brilliant idea. Nor would I mind, Darren. It's actually
maybe we should invite him in next week. Maybe you can do that.
Well, I suppose so, because it's an abstract idea, isn't it?
Poo on my buttons. He's not doing it.
Which is something that Matt has to say in his sex life twice a day. I've got poo on my buttons, says Matt Morgan, then scurries out of a brothel.
That would mean that you've been rude to a pantomime character.
Let's not be toilet.
Let's not be puerile. What about when I used to have that job? Yeah, it is funny when I had to do
normal
jobs.
What about that job where you used to teach English to girls that you basically just taught them how to have one night stands?
Right, okay, welcome to the English class. There's this place called, there was a school on Oxford Street. You know when you see it on Oxford Street in London, there's people giving out leaflets, come and learn English, right? And with that job, it's a good job, right? All they do is they go, right, okay, we give you a week's training, and the way English is taught is just from a textbook. You just they give you this textbook, and you go, essentially, you just stand behind a podium with about 20 or 30 women from all around the world, some men in there as well, but I tried not to focus on them, and just read out slogans, like bits of English. Well, not slogans, I suppose they're lumps of language.
You'll never put a bit of butter on your knife. Milk has got a lot of bottle stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
Standard of English that's been taught.
I know, yeah. Someone came up to me, a Swedish tourist on a bus, and just said, "You'll never get better than a quick fit fitter." The other day, and I said, "I will get better. There's nothing wrong with my exhaust." And then I went, Pfft, and so the joke was on me in a way.
Finger of fudge.
Oh, Trevor,
sorry.
That's your own private affair. So eat your fudge, Trev. Eat your finger of fudge.
A little bit slow there, weren't you?
Oh, come on. So, I was used to do this English class, and you have to just go through the book saying things like, I open my umbrella when it's raining, and that's the way they're learning the word umbrella, and you have to sort of, it's a very systematic way of teaching them, but they only give you a week's training, then they just let you loose in a class full of strangers, right? And I was a drug addict then, so I used to just, take loads of drugs, go in that class, really off my head, and just sort of just talk to them about trying to chat them up, really. I taught them some English.
I think you were probably quite a good teacher.
I was, actually, because I was very engaging,
sure.
Come on, let's learn this English, let's bloody well do it. Right, you've got to learn how to say yes pretty quickly, or I'm looking at a 10 stretch. It's stuff like that, essentially. But then once I got bored of doing the job, I was, should we go down the park and just take drugs? F off down the park, take some drugs, just light drugs, awful though they were. And then, so we just sit in the park in Soho in London and, smoke loads of dope and that, and then go back. And if I go, I notice Russell's class don't seem to be learning very much English, and they're all nervous, jittery and paranoid. What is that? He's teaching them some odd stuff. And then I sort of started to increasingly get in trouble, and of course, because of my habits, I would sometimes, seduce them and that. And, so just chat people up like a person would, like a young single person would. Nice to chat people up, if anything. And then, and then they found out that I was doing really bad at my job. And there was this one time I wanted to go off on holiday. I goes, can I have 2 weeks holiday,
this is
please?
Terrible,
yeah, this is a bit bad, this. I goes, can I have a 2 week holiday, please? They goes, no, you can't have a 2 week holiday. You've got to do your job. I go, bloody hell. So I just went on a 2 week holiday, right? And then come back after the 2 week holiday. I goes, where you been? I was, I've got some terrible news. They goes, what's that? I goes, yeah, I had to have 2 weeks off because I've got AIDS. They went, what? I goes, yep, AIDS I've got. And they, obviously no one believed me. But because it's such a terrible, awful thing to say, such a terrible lie, people couldn't question it, because they'd think, surely no one in their right mind would say that. No one in their right mind would. I wasn't in my right mind, so I sort of got away with it, right? And they just had to say, everyone where I work sort of just thought, that's that bloke who's claimed to have AIDS just so that he could have a 2 week holiday in Spain.
If someone believed you and they watch you on telly now, think, oh, he's getting thinner.
Oh dear, that would be awful. That'd be awful. I really should never have told that lie, but it was working on Hitler's edict that the bigger the lie you tell, the more people will believe you. Although I'm not suggesting...
That was Hitler's edict, was it?
Hitler told that lie first.
What was his big lie?
He said it's good to kill people on account of their religion or because they're like gypsies or they're gay or something, when in fact it's bad to do that.
So you were taking your cues from Hitler?
I've always, when I'm in a moral dilemma, Matt, I ask myself, what would Hitler do in this situation? Now, what would good old Archie Hitler, not Adolf Hitler, he was a terrible man, but his younger brother Archie.
He'd lie that he's got AIDS. Brilliant. Here I go.
Hitler would soon find his way out of this problem with a little loophole known as, I've got AIDS now, unfortunately, so I'll have to have a few more examples. Terrible thing to do. Really bad thing that I've done there in the past while I was on drugs. Can't do me for it because I've stopped taking drugs and I'm all nice now. So anyway, that was that bit of a job. So you're right, when I had normal jobs, it was not a good thing because I couldn't make myself do it. I just didn't like it. I find it hard enough to do jobs where people really try and make it easy for you to do the job. Oh, do you want to get a cab here? Do you need any food? Oh, Christ! I don't feel well! I want to go home! Yeah. That sort of stuff, yeah. You all right, Matt?
Yeah, good.
Suppose we'll do the Sonic Enigma later, will we?
I think we have to listen to some news.
Let's listen to some news and put everything in perspective. Too much perspective.
This is a thing on the old job things.
Yes.
Yeah? I'm going to read it how he wrote it.
Go on then, Trev.
Well, I must say I had the job I have enjoyed was looking for an army.
Right, stop.
What?
Right there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I must say I have a job I have enjoyed.
Exactly.
Does he say that, Trev?
Yeah.
Matthew, would you authenticate that? Because I think Trevor is lying.
Well, I must say I had the job I have enjoyed was look out for... Yeah, it's true.
Fair enough. All right, let Trev continue reading.
Our brave boys.
Well, I must say I had the job I have enjoyed was look out for an army. Not a real one, you fool. Brackets. I was looking...
This guy's bonkers.
He's arguing with himself.
Sometimes I argue with myself down my trousers, but whatever happens, I'm always the winner.
I was looking for the kids from the other street, and then when we saw them, we gave them a right good pelting with the conkers. Oh, and how we laughed when they screamed in pain as the spine stuck in their bodies. Ha, ha, ha. Bye, Johnny. P.S. And there's an idea for young Trevor to try. Russell and Matt, you could throw spiked objects at him and maybe you could laugh too.
Good idea, Johnny. And to think you ridiculed that young man when he's come up with a brilliant suggestion like that.
Luckily, there are no spiked objects or conkers or any natural things
That's
in
a bit
this
spiky.
artificial environment.
Let's throw this. Quite spiky. It's sort of like the nib of a pen. Pen nib.
That's always on there. Always look at it.
I wonder if this is our God. Maybe we should... Perhaps we should worship this thing. Perhaps we shouldn't be treating it with such disdain.
Can I just explain that I'm not pressing a canned laughter button? We've actually just...
Oh, yeah, some people have joined us in the studio. Competition winners, Ben and Nina. How are you, Ben?
I'm great, thanks, Russell. Yeah.
Did you? So you won the Sonic Enigma while we were absent, while me and Matt was in Germany. Obviously, we didn't take Trev for obvious reasons. Well, the Rolling Stones stipulated that Trevor Locke should not be allowed anywhere near him. They were worried about potential sex attacks, was what they were worried about. Ben, what was that? What was the Sonic Enigma that you got correct, mate?
The answer, it was Set Me Free by the Kinks.
Set Me Free by the Kinks. So well done. How do you feel about having to share mental space with a man who says, "Oh, it's a new moon, I feel different this morning"?
It was quite a bad day for me, I think, yeah.
It is, isn't it? It must be. I mean, all right, you've won the prize of coming in here, but it's in many ways a double-edged sword because you're sort of saying I share psychological space with Trevor Locke. Difficult.
Yeah.
I think you're ungrateful.
No, not at all. I love it. It's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. You just change with the wind, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, you changed with the moon, Trevor. Whereas, like, why is that any more different? You know,
Trevor, that was the worst Sonic Enigma ever because even my suggestion was better than the answer.
It was, actually.
Why were there monkeys in it? There was no reason for there to be primates.
Set me free.
What's that got to do with monkeys? Oh, yeah, monkeys. Whenever you meet a monkey, the first thing it'll do is demand its freedom.
Oh, stop it.
Liberty and monkeys. They're always hand in hand.
No, I'm saying...
Look at the Statue of Liberty. She's a monkey.
She's a monkey after all.
Set me free from my monkey. That's what I'm saying. Set me free from my own monkey.
What do you mean you haven't got a monkey? You don't have a monkey, Trevor.
We've all got a monkey.
Eat your fudge, Trev.
That
Stop
is the
claiming to have a
definition
monkey.
of a human being. Half monkey, half really clever monkey.
No, it's not, Trevor. You are entirely
half
monkey.
Angel, half monkey.
You think that's, and you think, oh, I'm so clever. Oh, I'm understanding a big theological idea about
Monkeys
divinity and primary.
Monkeys are clever.
Monkeys, yeah. Oh, that's another thing he's always on about, isn't he? He's always on about that gorilla that he reckons was trying to communicate to a kitten or something. Do you remember that?
No, that was a listener that came up with that.
Trevor, we all know perfectly well that you scurry off to the lavatory, interfere with yourself, then send a text into the show saying, Trevor's doing well, it's terrible the way you boys bully him. I read a story once about a gorilla that loved a cat and it wore suspenders, so Trevor's not that bad. Bye! Don't you?
That gorilla pulled a sink off the wall and then blamed it on the kitten with sign language.
What a ridiculous thing to say.
If you've just tuned in,
yeah,
that just sounds insane.
If you've just tuned in, then good. You deserve that nonsense. Why have you just tuned in now? You've got the wrong radio station.
For all you know, there's been a car accident, Trevor, and they're trying to cheer themselves up. You horrible fiend. Let's put the pen lid god back on there because ever since it's been moved, things have been weird in here. Also joining us are Joe, Kieran and Helen. Hello there.
Hello.
Right now, Kieran, Joe and Helen were at my gig last night. Kieran, you can be the spokesman for the group. Come up here, old bean. Now, I did a gig at a place called the Red Rose last night. A good gig, was it?
It was an amazing gig. It was like a comedy happening.
Comedy happening.
Early Dylan kind of thing.
Early Dylan kind of thing.
So did you all go home with Russell then?
This is really odd that
Why?
you
What's
brought
odd?
members of your audience last night with
Why?
It's not odd at all because look what's happened. They were at my gig last night. What was my gig like? It was a comedy happening and other things you've asked me to read out.
You've mispronounced happening, Kieran.
Matt, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of that cult thing that he often talks about.
Yeah,
isn't
he does, doesn't he?
Let's not talk about the cult
He
thing.
beguiled us, that's all.
It was
Did he?
beguiling, wasn't it? But what about now? There was an awkward moments because there's these people in the front row.
I'm sure there were many awkward moments.
They were constructed. They were a happening.
Okay.
What you call an awkward moment, me and Kieran like to refer to as a happening trip. There were some people talking in the front row, and I sort of give them lots of opportunities to stop talking. Please stop talking. Please stop talking. Jokily, please stop talking. Pretended to sit on the floor of the stage, say right, I'm not going to talk, and then did loads of little jokes when they pleaded with me to start talking again. Then eventually, after a lot of provocation,
They crossed the line, didn't they?
they crossed the line in the sand and kept talking. So I goes, right, I'm not going to do any more comedy till these people leave. right? And I was right to do that.
You were
wasn't I?
very right to it. It was righteous, definitely.
I walked out.
Oh, right.
Was it? Because when he told me the story, I sort of thought, I bet someone whispered, "Right, I'm leaving now."
Yes.
It was quite funny. It was quite funny. Like, no, because it was a bit sort of, because I felt all sort of tired, and I was trying my hardest, and I asked them about 10 times to stop talking, really in nice ways, in funny ways, and I just thought, they can't just keep talking. There's nothing I can do.
Can I just ask you guys, could you not hear Russell because they were talking so loudly?
Yeah, but like,
Answer the question.
Trevor, you're like a Gestapo
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Remember,
Only like a nasty
cast your minds back. It's about 10:30 last night. A man on stage talking into a microphone, which is plugged into an amp.
Trevor,
Coming out of speakers.
Trevor, yeah, you are leading the witness. You're leading the witness.
Who could you hear? The girls or him? Answer me now.
Well, we could hear both.
Ah, good,
good
brilliant.
answer.
All
Good
your fails
answer.
to manage justice, Trevor, have failed. This is like the 70s when poor Irish people were in prison for nothing because of people like you. Right, yeah. And then there was a bit where I walked out of the room. Didn't I? And then there's a bit you came out to follow me, Kieran. That was very nice of you.
Yeah, because I just felt so sorry for you, you know.
Because I'd been unjustly
Well, it was
treated.
spreading, you know, they were chatting, and then other people thought it was okay to chat, you know.
They were so bored, these people. They were doing anything they could.
We talk now. Good.
Oh, thank God we can talk. Anything to distract us from that vile man droning on about his problems. That was a really good gig. It was really funny. But then when I came back in, it was really, I had to establish the atmosphere again. That was tricky.
Yeah, but you want it back.
Oh, I won it back. Won back the room. It was ever so good.
Okay, I'm convinced now that Russell was in the right.
Thank you very much. I've convinced people.
Your
You sit back
presence
down there.
tells me that anyway.
Yeah, because otherwise they wouldn't have come if I was truly an horrid
If
person.
you talk in here,
you know.
if anyone should utter a word in here,
It's reminiscent of Nuremberg, but this is another one of those occasions where you thought, what would Hitler do now?
What would Hitler do?
He'd walk off.
Hitler would stand for that.
no one spoke when he was speaking.
No, they didn't, did they? You could always hear Hitler very clearly. Oh, this is nice, isn't he? Oh, he's taller than he is on the telly, isn't he? Oh, blimey. And he nice. Oh, he smells of daffodils. I wonder if I could touch him on the leg. Things like that going on. Here is an email from Sebastian in Manchester. Was Trevor dropped on his head as a child? I think you should drop him on his head now to see if it sets him right. Also tell him, eat your fudge, Trev! Trevor, have you even eaten any fudge today?
I haven't eaten any fudge.
Were you dropped as a child, Trev?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's weird because Trevor's family
He's
clearly
got no
don't
memory.
like him much. They don't like. They didn't go to school sports days. They didn't go to parents' evenings. It seems as if from the moment that Trevor was born, they tried to distance themselves from it, as if it was a stain on a mattress. Just like, how can we get away from this event? That was sort of the attitude, wasn't it, Trev?
No, my mum and dad loved me.
Oh, come on, Trev! How could anybody love you, you ridiculous little creature? Trevor! I love you, Trevor. I love your little face. I love the way you lie and trick Italian girls. I love your drains with the dead flesh smells. Oh, Trevor! Oh, Trevor! Ever so clever, how can we not adore you? How could we bore you for murdering it just following your base instincts?
Are you trying to get a job on some sort of West End musical?
No, but if you are listening, Cameron McIntosh, I'd just like to say hip hip hooray, lovely day, mammy, swanee, whoop-de-doo-da. What gives you that impression?
Now, what you are missing there is the ridiculous dance that accompanies that nonsense.
Yeah.
That dance, Trevor, is a mating ritual, and
Yes.
if you are not attracted by that,
We're
it's
not of the same species, are we, Russ?
I don't think we
No,
are.
it would be
I
a
pray
crime
to
if we
God.
copulated.
Because I wasn't created on a petri dish. Two people who loved each other very briefly in a very difficult way. Add it off, and then it was too late to do anything about it.
His dancing looks like someone in a flick book.
That is
It's got
sometimes
no rhythm to it. It's just like
Sometimes it feels like that. I just wish I could turn the page. This is from Abby. Dearest Russell, Matt and Cocky Locky. I used to work in a very posh shoe shop where we earned commission on the expensive shoes. A few weeks after joining, a lady came in and all my colleagues said she was a regular and would often buy several pairs of these expensive Italian leather shoes. Being greedy, I staked my claim on this customer. She pointed out all the shoes she wanted to try on, and I did the dutiful thing and bought the shoes out from the stockroom. As I knelt down at her feet to place the shoes on her feet, as we were required to do, I realised that the gnarled, veiny feet were not those of a delicate woman, but were in fact the rather horrid feet of a trans tight vest. Oh, interesting bit of spelling. I looked back to see my colleagues laughing at my misfortune. Love you all, Abby. Now, is that an email that victimises innocent transvestite people?
no,
Isn't it?
not
Little
really.
bit.
Little bit.
Not
But
really.
she doesn't say she had the feet of a man. She said she had the feet of a transvestite, as if that third gender's got some
Its own
worse
specific
feet.
type of feet, as if they got raven's claws, or trotters, or hooves, or some kind of thing. You're quite right, Matt, and I consider that to be a prejudice. But Abby, you're a friend of the show.
But it's
nonetheless.
commission, isn't it? You're on commission. Doesn't
You're on
matter
commission.
who buys them.
Don't matter. Yeah, I suppose if Satan came in, Matt, you would quite happily bind up his foot on a sandal if you thought there'd be 50p in a lollipop.
Let's
in
judge me, Russell Brand, fan of Hitler.
I'm not a fan of Hitler. I'm just
If
saying.
Hitler came in for some shiny new boots to crush people with, you'd go, "Oh yes, Mr. Hitler, I've read all your books."
I really like my struggle. It must have been a hell of a struggle. Why don't people listen to you? yeah, you know, it's very difficult in that castle. I'm very bored. And the Munich Putsch, why people not listen then? I give them such a good chance. These shoes are too tight. I'm sorry, Mr. Hitler, I'm sorry. I'll just scurry out back. Perhaps you'd like to try one of these stilettos and walk up and down my back. Lower, lower. Oh, that's the one. Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler? Come on, Cameron McIntosh, come on. So, Matt, we were saying earlier about when you had a job in a well-known high street chemist chain.
I did.
So what was the difficulty in that job? Sounds like a good opportunity for a young man.
Me and my friend. Do you remember when that high street chemist? Might as well just say
Boots.
it.
Other chemists are available.
Boots used to sell CDs. I don't know if they still do.
I think some of them do, yeah.
But me and my friend, I'm ashamed to say, I was very near Russell's drug barrella. Used to shoplift from Boots in Dartford.
And yet
What
you
did you
want to be
shoplift?
treated like
the
a...
overpriced music selections. Yeah.
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 Oh, did you say overpriced? Are you coming out in support of me?
Not really. No.
Are you going to come out at all, Trev? Because we all know.
I once spent £15.99 on an Elton John LP.
Why?
Well, I had a gift voucher from Boots, and
If someone threw it at you out of a window, you should have ducked.
Someone gave you a gift voucher, so you didn't spend it, did you really?
No, I spent my gift voucher.
How much was the gift voucher for?
I don't know, but
They
I
don't
just
come for
remember-
$15.99.
It was probably-
So
I
someone's
had-
lying. Someone's lying, Trev.
Probably I had to spend
I don't know if it's you or
£5.99
Elton
of my own
or
money.
David Furnish, but one of
Tell
his
you
lying.
what, it's one of those stories that's got everything. Isn't it?
It's got it all, and it's like the boot story. Oh, who could forget Trevor Locke's boot through a skylight classic?
That is
Oh,
an iconic story,
It's
mate.
a brilliant tale.
It's one of the great stories.
That's
one
a
of the
great
great
image,
stories.
a big boot coming through a
Great
skylight.
image, great.
shattering
Even better if
glass
that boot
over a
then
little
came
girl.
down and smashed your skull in, so
Oh,
you couldn't
stop
report
it.
any of these ridiculous
What are you
anecdotes.
afraid of? What are you scared of?
I'll tell you, I'm scared of you ruining our radio show with your tedious, droning, tawdry yarns about nothing. I had a gift voucher, had to supplement it, of course, with $5.99 of my own pennies, and you expect people to listen to this tripe.
I don't know. You make your own mind up. You will
Yeah,
see,
well, we
see.
will.
We'll see what the message boards are
Turn
filled
his
with.
mind
We see what the message boards. We see what the message boards. Go
What are
on,
the
Matt.
message boards honestly going to say about that? Elton John, which album was it? I mean,
What is his greatest
1599's
hit?
a bit steep. Yellow Brick Road's my favourite.
Oh, I like sacrifice. I like sacrifice. There's no
I don't know.
sacrifice.
This
The
what-
only sacrifice is innocent Italian girls and the English language being mangled up by Trevor Locke and his libido. Matt, would
Right.
you like to... why don't you tell us the rest of your story, mate, when Trevor's finished?
Well, anyway,
yarning on?
I was a shoplifter from there. Actually, I used to...
Were you
I
any
was
good at shoplifting?
No, I was terrible.
Lacked
I was
bottle, did you?
Scared, and also the people I was with were manipulatable, and I used to say,
You do the shoplifting.
yeah, like Obi-Wan.
The sand people.
I don't think I'd be able to get that T-Rex CD.
Do you think you
It was
would?
tapes. It was nicking tapes.
Nick the
So
T-Rex
sad.
tape.
But anyway,
The sand people are very mistrustful folks.
but then later on, a little while later, I got. You know when you have to do a Christmas
Oh,
job?
isn't it awful to do a
Christmas job
job?
at Boots, so they just take on anyone because they're so busy.
Desperate. We'll take on anyone. We won't go through the usual procedures. Just open the floodgates, let any moron have a job. So you were a beneficiary
I
of
was
that,
there, front of
obviously.
the queue, waving.
Yeah. Woo! Want to try?
And so I got the job, and then this lady who's an undercover store detective who sort of just wears normal clothes, had a bum bag with a
187 on an
radio in
undercover
it. She
car.
recognised me, but I was already working
Well,
there.
she's hold on. So you've got a job, and she's gone.
I've
"Hey,
got the
I
job.
know
She's
that guy.
thinking, that's that bloke who used to nick stuff.
That's the chuckling
But if she
puppeteer
knew
behind
you
those morons.
nick stuff, why didn't she nick you?
Because she could, well, because
Trevor, you can't just pop a person in your pocket and then sell him down a market.
No, but you know what I mean. If she's the
she
store
can't.
detective and she's worth it.
Don't
she's,
use the word nick with a different meaning in such close proximity.
I'm a poet. That's what I do. I go for the rhythm. That's
It's
what
like you
I'm
go-
always looking for the rhythm in language.
Always looking for the rhythm.
Now listen.
Oh yeah,
the
I was
rhythm
wearing
of
a boot. I put it in my boot, and then I booted it up my boot. It's just confusing.
Well, boot doesn't have two meanings,
yes,
does
it does.
Anyway, she got
Boot's
her
the
own
chemist. Boot the verb. Boot the noun. Boot the verb to smoke heroin.
Shut
There's
up.
loads of
Let me just
moot.
finish this ruddy story.
Come on, Matt. What happened next?
And anyway, she every time I left that place, she searched me. And
Cavity search?
No, but nearly. Like, I had to take my shoes and socks off. She had to take my belt off, and she had to go like that around my thing. She looked inside my pen.
Ran her finger around the rim of your belt?
Yeah.
Nice.
She goes, I know who you are.
I know who you are,
and
I've got your number.
She was not an old lady. She was a menace.
Well, she was an old lady, but she was a menace.
Yeah, and then she get a biro, or like a pen, unscrew it, and look down in case I'd rolled up money and put
Blimey, you'd have to be brilliant. That's like as if you worked in a diamond factory or something, or in New Jack City manufacturing cocaine.
I wasn't kept on after January.
Well, they thought, right,
that was
out
a
it goes.
job, that.
Down with the Christmas balloons, that boy. Down with a momentary festival, a momentary embrace of an old pagan idea. We'll put Matt Morgan aside.
We've admitted to some terrible things.
We have on this radio show. Do you know that Leslie Douglas, controller of Radio 2, has to have regular conversations with tabloid newspapers so they don't run stories like Russell Brand AIDS like claim, things like that, like earlier on in the show. Yeah, good, protects us.
I mean, Trevor hasn't admitted to anything.
Well, Trevor should be in prison by rights from today's show, booting people right in the. If I booted someone in the sky like Trev, I'd expect to serve 5 years for it. Should we have a little bit of mood? How do you feel, people in the show? How do you feel? You in a good mood? Yeah, you enjoy it? What about you people over here? Woo, yeah, let's create some atmosphere. Whoa, hello, it's going wild in here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, crazy. Should we listen and see what we're going to do? Jane's Addiction, bean call stealing. Shame on you, Matt Morgan. Shame on you! You're listening to Russell Brand on 6 Music. I'm here with Matt Morgan. He's in charge of the buttons. You're right there, Matty Morgan.
Yes, very well.
Here with Cocky Trevor Lockett. Cocky Trevor Lockett. How you feeling, sunshine?
Oh, very unhappy.
Why are you so unhappy, though,
I don't know. I just got that feeling that I'm going to die.
Yeah, well, you are.
I know.
But, perhaps not today. Who knows?
Well,
perhaps not today.
I think it might
You got your washing machine fixed?
No.
It's the main thing.
Why don't you get things done?
Why don't you, Trevor?
I'm always busy.
Eat your fudge, Trevor. Our guests, Kieran, Joe and Helen, have bought some fudge, brownies.
Fudge, it's just cheap brownies from.
Ungrateful pig! Ungrateful.
Eat them all.
Eat some brownies.
Make him eat
brownie. Take him some brownie.
Kieran, make him eat them.
Push it into his mouth. Push it in. Trevor, is that nice? Trump it up, Trev. Trevor, push more. Kieran, that's right. Pushing the brownie is being pushed into his mouth. Trevor, you are resisting food. We will put an intravenous drip into his arm if we have to. Why are you not eating him?
Because he hasn't done an aeroplane or a choo-choo train.
Do a choo-choo train for him, Kieran. Do a choo-choo. Make him eat the same bit. Don't waste any more. Pick out the bit he's already in his mouth.
Your perversion.
He spat it onto the floor. He's using it as a perversion for his forums, mate. You're right. It's all slimy. He's touching Trevor's bit. Choo-choo. Here come the train. Here come the train, Trev. Open the tunnel for the train. Good boy. Is that nice, Trev? It's all right, is it?
I don't think this is going to win us any awards.
Say your name and...
Force feeding a man.
Well, they do it in prison. Are you all right, Trevor?
No.
What's the matter?
People are force-feeding me cheap items of
confectionery.
Why do you keep saying cheap? It's offending him.
You're offending Kieran. People come in and bring us
presents.
Make
it. He didn't. He's not making a fortune out of overpriced, coffee accessories.
What the hell is wrong with that boy's mind?
The rise and rise of the coffee outlets.
So coffee doesn't wear a bow around its neck. Coffee doesn't wear a bracelet. What's wrong with you, Trevor?
I'm just saying, it's overpriced, isn't it? People are making a fortune.
Well,
people are becoming millionaires.
You said it was cheap. It's overpriced.
Trevor,
it's cheap to make, but it's overpriced.
He's got in one palm. In the palm of one hand, he's got a piece of brownie. In the palm of the other hand, he's got his own testicles. What kind of a man are you? He stood there with arms splayed open like Christ, scrotum taut. You are truly a desperate individual, Trevor Locke. So anyway, I wanted to tell you about this thing. Right, the last time I did that show I do for Big Brother, right? A guy came on and did Tai Chi. Did any of you see that show? His name's Master Su, and I really liked him. He was dead funny because, he's doing Tai Chi, and one imagines your initial response to Tai Chi is a spiritual thing, isn't it? I mean, my understanding is it's an embrace of the energies of the universe and stuff, and you move through you employ the energy of the universe to defend yourself, to make yourself healthy and stuff like that. But this Master Su, he really cracked me up. As soon as I met him, he goes, "Hey, Russell, I like you. And I goes, "Oh, thanks, Master Su. Nice to meet you." He goes, "You try Tai Chi. Tai Chi keep you nice and young. It keep you young." And then he bent his arm up like Popeye would. Sort of, how you bend your arm up to show when Matt Morgan shows you his guns to sort of tense up a bicep. He tenses it really tight, right? And then he goes, pinch my skin, feel how tight my skin is, pinch my skin. I goes, "You're in the Tai Chi, you're not boastful and vain, right?"
It's serene, is it?
It's not serene, but a really brilliant man. Pinch my skin.
Why does he want you to pinch your skin?
To show how taut his skin is. Pinch my skin, pinch my skin.
But if you do that, your skin is taut, isn't it?
Not as taut as Master Su's, Trev, let me tell you. Really taut. And that's why we've got Master Su on the phone now. Master Su, hello.
Hello.
Hello there, mate. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's nice to have you on the radio. Did you enjoy being on the television programme the other day?
Oh, so much. I really enjoy it. It was so good.
You think I'm really good? What do you think we can all like? I'm here with my friends Trevor Locke and Matt Morgan. Matt and Trevor, say hello to Master Su.
Hello, Master Su.
Hello, Master Su.
Sir.
So Tai Chi, how does it benefit people to do Tai Chi, Master Su?
Pardon, how what?
How does it help people and benefit people to do Tai Chi?
Well, you know, you become very supple, you become very fit,
Do ya?
very strong, and most of all, you become a very serene, quiet person.
But you weren't all serene and quiet when I met you. You were boasting like Noel Gallagher, like that. But instead of
good
I've got,
for you.
but you were going instead of like Noel Gallagher. Whenever you meet me, all right, I've got loads of money. I've got loads of money. Oh, James Blunt, I've got more money than him. I've got more money than anybody in the world. Right? Instead of that, you're going pinch my skin, pinch my skin, like that. Dead aggressive. Would you say pinch my skin now so everyone can hear you say it?
Oh, pinch my skin.
Say it again.
Pinch my skin.
A really good catchphrase.
It's a really good catchphrase.
Yeah.
Can we record it as a jingle? We should definitely get that recorded. It's well fun.
problem.
Let's make a movie. Okay, yeah. There could be spin-offs. There could be Pinch My Skin Dancers, the Pinch My Skin Rap. I'm on tutor. Pinch My Skin. This is where it begins. We're going to pinch my belly old skin. Nice when white people rap. Okay, so Miss Master Su. Perhaps me, Matt, and Trev should all have a Tai Chi lesson with you.
Yeah, no problem.
How much is it an hour?
Oh, very expensive.
Yeah, it is now.
Are you? What sort of a lifestyle do you live, Master Su? It seems to me that you're like some sort of like, yeah, you do Tai Chi, but you're living like a hip hop star.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, well, perhaps I'll tell you what. Why don't you in the week we'll come for a Tai Chi lesson, and then next week come on the show maybe. Would that be fun?
Okay.
Yeah. Have Master Su come in. Matt, why did you look down? Matt, when I said this to Matt looked at his own winky.
I did not look at the wire of my headphones.
And they are one and the same thing. That is the tragedy for Matt Morgan. He's a cyborg. He's listening to his own genitalia all day long. And what's it saying? Still springs from boots. So, okay then, Master Su.
Master Su.
Master Su won't be confused. He's in touch with the... Is it all about being in touch with the energy of the universe?
It is, yes.
Good. Now, Trevor's always coming out with rubbish like that he's affected by the moon and like, he feels sad because of the moon. He wish he could have the moon as his girlfriend. He thinks that the moon's touching him on his back pocket. Are these things true?
No.
You don't know that, Master Su.
Master Su knows a lot of stuff, mate. You should see him. He's 62. He looks ever so young.
Really?
Really young.
Has he got young skin?
You should try pinching his skin. It's ever so tight, isn't it, Master Su?
Yes, and all from 10 minutes a day.
All from 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes a day, is that what you have to do? Oh, I'm into it now.
Yes.
Right, see, 10 minutes a
busy
day of Tai Chi. Okay, Master Su, thanks very much, and thanks for giving us your time.
Say it one more time.
Oh, we say pinch my skin once more.
Pinch my skin.
Master Su there. Thanks, Master Su. We'll be meeting him next week. He's going to be on the show. It's going to be
right, then.
fantastic.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Master Su.
Bye-bye.
Bye, love you. Nice to talk to you. Cheers. This is Six Music with me, Russell Brand, Matty Morgan, Trevor Locke, our competition winners, Ben and Nina. How's it going, Ben and Nina? You all right?
Great,
Good, thanks.
Nice to have you here. Are you proud of him for winning that Sonic Enigma?
Very proud.
Or maybe a little bit ashamed?
Perhaps a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, shame, complicated emotion. So, what do you think of Trevor Locke now that you've seen him in the flesh? He's interesting, isn't he?
Yeah.
Noel Gallagher describes him as a sort of say, sort of like he's like Ali Jones. We think he's like Alan Bennett, but sort of a bit younger.
Clark Kent.
Clark Kent.
Clark Kent, take your glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when he takes off his glasses, he doesn't become like Superman. He just becomes more of a threat because, you know, once they're off, there's nothing stopping him shaking his head wildly like a dog with a rag doll. Dirty little devil. Any views on it? Kieran, Joe and Helen, you've bought some things to torment Trevor with, is that true?
A few items that we can find.
What are they?
They are.
They're going through a
lady's
bag.
thong.
A lady's thong?
Yeah.
Has it ever been worn?
It has.
It's yours?
It is.
Little bit turned on.
Gee whiz.
Okay, Trevor,
What
put
do you
that
want to do with that?
Yeah, I want you to wear it.
What's
Where?
this other thing? A
Round my-
recorder.
Where do you want me to put that?
Okay, come on, Mike, Kieran. Come up here with me. So, tell the listeners what you've got.
A recorder, a lady's thong, which is like cheese wire, and some pretty rare.
It will be like
chilies.
cheese wire once his head goes. So you've got some rare
What's that?
chilies.
Yeah.
Matt will like. Matt in the middle go, give those chilies. I'll eat those chilies. I can eat anything. I can eat anything I can.
That's exactly how I talk.
I'll eat those.
Have one, Matt.
I've got I've got really bad
All right.
indigestion at the moment.
Trevor, put on this lady's thong and play that recorder, Trevor. Take off your trousers and panties and put on that lady's thong and play your recorder.
No, let's make him go in the street again.
All right. Yeah. Dress like that?
No.
Go and busk with that recorder.
But in the thong. Make him wear the thong, everyone, shall we? Trevor,
Trev.
Not over your trousers, you gutless coward. Get right. Time now for Trevor's Sonic Enigma. Trevor, what is the Sonic Enigma? You've done a jingle like every week.
Now for the answer away until we've heard it.
Now time for a ridiculous, indulgent jingle that Trevor will have devised. Let's all patiently listen to this junk. You can't hear it. You won't be able to hear it because it's not canned.
It's Trevor. We've heard it before.
Sonic Enigma. Sonic Humor.
It's vaguely Sigur Rós-like, I'll give you that.
Yeah, but it's just oh, who's that?
Who is that?
Oh, what's that? Oh, I don't know about culture. Sonic Enigma. Right, so is that the end? Boring, indulgent Trevor. Naturally, Matt and I recorded one of our own, which far more accurately gives you an impression of what the hell was going on that day.
Well, I'm worried about Trevor. He's come home claiming to be a mod. He's dressed like Phil Spector.
Oh no, he'll probably do a murder next. I'm Bill Locke, his father. I'm worried about Trevor Locke. Sue Locke, my wife. Our son Trevor worry me.
I'm very worried about him too.
Why did he try and be a mod for? Then he was smoking those tablets. Then he said he was the devil and crashed and lost in Allegro. He's an aggressive boy, Sue Locke.
He's a hideous boy, and obviously our family are a long line of rockers, so that's why we don't get on with him.
There's going to be a disparity, so no more Trevor Locke's crawl out of you. I'm going to neutralise your womb juice with toothpaste. Come on, Sue Locke, open up. Here comes the paste. Brush, brush, fresh, blue stripe white. Now we've got the more Trevor Locke's womb juice.
See?
That doesn't make any sense
Yes,
at all.
it does. You can neutralise people's womb juice with toothpaste, I think. That's what I read anyway. I think I read that somewhere. I think I saw it in the Bible. What's the matter, Matt?
Have you seen what I've just been watching?
Trevor! Trevor's putting a thong on over his boxer shorts. Trevor, why are you wearing a thong? Are you some sort of a perv?
Yeah.
Get out there and busk.
Trevor, get out onto the street and busk with your... Trevor, have a practice with your recorder while you're here, see if you're any good at it.
Tuck your shirt into your pants.
Tuck your shirt into your pants. Tuck it in. Good. Right, tucky. He's actually quite good. You're gonna make a small fortune, Trevor. Trevor, you'll be rich. You'll be richer than John Steinbeck, the richest author in the Dust Bowl. Go on, play a bit more. Really soothing. I can see why the recorder is such a popular instrument.
Yeah.
It's good, Trev. Okay, all right, enough now. So does everyone here think it would be a good idea for Trevor to go outside and busk on the streets?
On Oxford Street, none of this, not round here.
Go to London, Oxford Street. Oh, well, maybe we don't need to go too far. Trev, take your phone, get out there and busk your little nuts off. Perhaps G might drive you in his car. Mr. G, the poet's here. He might drive you in his car somewhere busy.
Go home, I think.
Don't you dare, Trevor. Don't you let down your listeners. Now, but first, Trevor, describe to any poor souls who've not listened to this show before what the Sonic Enigma is.
Well, the Sonic Enigma is a soundscape that I've created that, if you can unlock, will reveal to you a well-known song title.
The only thing that needs to be unlocked is this radio show.
Then you can come in here next week and see how we do this show.
Great prize, isn't it, Ben and Nina?
Well,
what a prize.
Let's listen to his latest effort.
Let's listen to the latest tawdry affair.
Push.
What the hell?
We always knew this would happen, didn't we, Matt? That one day he'd go too far and we'd lose him. What is that, Trevor?
I don't know. That's not how it should have been.
Trevor, turn your phone off, eat some fudge, play your recorder. What's wrong with you today?
It's Luke.
If you know what that is, you belong in a hospice. Text 64046 or email russell.6music@bbc.co.uk. You don't even speak in that one, Trevor. It's just you. Sounds like fighting with yourself.
Trevor, go outside, play the recorder, and then if anyone challenges you, like the police, because you've got that, say, pinch my skin.
Pinch my skin!
That's the only thing you're allowed to say.
Your only thing, Trevor, you get out there in those streets and I want to hear you say pinch my skin to 4 people, and one of those people must be homeless.
On 2 conditions.
Go on.
Don't hide my trousers or take...
Of course we won't. We won't, will we?
No.
We wouldn't do that. Any other conditions, Trev, for us to ignore?
There's another one, I can't remember what it is.
Right. Why don't you take your trousers with you in a carrier bag?
No, leave him here just in case a thief thieves them. Right, so Trevor, you go out in those streets. If you live in London...
Unhappy, I can't believe you
It's
made me
good,
do
you look
this.
lovely. Butterflies. That butterfly thong makes you look so sexy, Trevor. He's wearing it over his pants and he's got his little boots on. Take your recorder, Trevor! And take your camera, because we want evidence that things happened.
Maybe would someone go with him?
Who's going to accompany him? Would you three? Perhaps you three accompany Trevor. Okay, Helen, Kieran and Joe are going to accompany Trevor onto the streets.
Take some photos of him on your phone.
Take photos with him and ring Trevor. We're going to ring you up on your phone. Does he need to take more? We know his phone. We can call his phone. Does it work?
Yes.
All right, we'll ring you up in a minute, Trevor, and we expect you to be busking. And don't come back till you've earned £12.
And don't let him make...
£12.
Don't let him make friends with you.
No, don't be friendly to him. He'll see it as a sexual opportunity. And make sure he says, pinch my skin. Out there.
Pinch my skin.
Pinch my skin, he's back in here. Trevor, get out there.
Look, I've got to get my thing, haven't I?
What thing? Oh, Christ. You're not supposed to be able to detach that, Trevor. No wonder you're so bitter.
BBC pass, which should be taken off you.
You shouldn't have that BBC pass.
What are you thinking?
What kind of example are you people to people at the BBC? He's straight out. He's proud of himself. He's enjoying this. He's a pervert. Of course, Kieran, Joe and Helen and Trevor Locke are in the outside world now to do Trevor Locke's busking stunt. Adam, have you got Trevor Locke up?
Yeah.
Right, let's have a listen. Trevor, you all right?
He's not Trevor, he's off dancing. He's like running free like a child.
Kieran, this is you, is it?
It is, yeah.
So he's running free like a child. Are you
He's just like a travelling tinker, basically.
He's like a travelling tinker. No, are you photographing him, mate?
Yeah, I've got loads of photographs of him, yeah. He's just approaching people, but people are moving away awkwardly from him.
that happens to him when he's in his normal regalia, let alone...
He's talking to someone now, hang on.
Right, okay, to pass us over to Trevor, let's see what he's doing.
He's got to say, pinch my skin.
Trevor, what are you doing?
Hello?
Trevor, you're making a fool of yourself. What are you doing?
Oh, that's a surprise, isn't it? Walking around in my pants and a thong.
Kieran says your behaviour's embarrassing. What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm playing my flute.
Go on then. Let me hear the person you're talking to. Are you talking to some passers-by?
I was, yeah, and she's walked off.
Run after her, Trevor. Trevor, run after her.
Run up to someone.
She's laughing now.
Run after her.
It's all right. Look, I'm friendly. She's smiling now.
She's smiling. Right, Trevor, give her to the phone.
Please, can you speak to my friend who's on the radio? Do you watch that programme about Big Brother's Big Mouth?
Get her to describe what she says.
It's him.
Right, tell her,
I don't always watch it.
You don't have to always watch it, dear. Now, what is Trevor Locke doing?
Hello.
Hello? He's telling me to listen to you on the phone.
Good. Okay, what's your name, madam?
My name's Flavia.
Flavia?
Yeah.
Hello, my love. Would you tell Trevor that there's something that he's supposed to say to you, and make him say it very loudly? Say, Trevor, what are you supposed to say?
Trevor, what are you supposed to say to me? Apparently you're supposed to say it really, really loudly.
Pinch my skin.
Not like that. Tell him not like that. Tell him to do it properly.
Like that.
Pinch my skin, Flavia.
Do it in the right voice.
Do it in the right voice, Trevor.
In the right voice, apparently.
Pinch my skin! Pinch my skin!
Louder, Trevor!
Louder, he said. Pinch
my skin, Flavia!
Now tell him to bellow it and run off up the road, screaming it.
Pinch my skin right on my little butt.
Trevor, you've adapted it, you pervert, to make yourself turned on.
I'm going to answer Flavia's phone.
Flavia, are you alright? Flavia, did he touch you?
Yeah, no, my sister's got off the phone.
What's he doing? Is he frightening you?
Hello?
Did he frighten you, Flavia?
No, he didn't frighten me, but he wanted to answer my phone.
He wanted to answer your phone?
Yeah.
Is that him playing the recorder now?
Sorry?
Well, tell me what he's wearing, Flavia.
What is he wearing?
What's he wearing, dear?
A butterfly thong.
A butterfly thong. What a pervert. Why is he doing that, do you think?
He said, he's just looking at me laughing.
Do you think there might be something wrong with him?
I don't think so.
I think he might be insane in the membrane.
No.
Okay, just get him to do one more pinch my skin very loudly.
He said if you can do one more time, pinch my skin very loudly.
Pinch my skin, Flavia! Pinch my skin!
Right, now give him his phone back and tell him to run down the street. Flavia, tell him to run down the street saying pinch my skin.
Who? Me?
No, him.
Both of you, run down the road together saying Flavia, come back to the studio with Trevor.
Pinch my skin, no!
Get Trevor.
Trevor, come back on the phone. Flavia, give the phone to Trevor. This is carnage. Give the phone to Trevor, woman.
Pinch my skin! Pinch my skin!
Good.
Lost them.
They've gone they're through the looking glass now.
Should we just lose
Fade them down, Matt. Fade them down. They're out of control.
We've lost that.
What on earth was wrong with Trevor? Why does he do things like that, do you think?
I don't know.
Is it for attention?
I don't know what it is.
What have we done wrong? I think we've given him everything.
We tried so hard with him, but
we've offered him friendship, warmth, because when we met him, he was little more than a hobo.
But he's wearing a thong and he's in the street.
Perfect.
Why is he doing that?
Why would anyone in their right mind do that? Trevor, lock you back. Are you all right, mate?
Yeah, it's cheered me up, actually. This is a cure for, the blues.
A cure for the blues? Yeah. It's certainly a cure for erotica. Still, I don't think I'll ever have it off again, having seen you with that butterfly clamped to your unmentionables. So you brought Flavia back with you. Hello, Flavia. Flavia. Sorry, dear.
That's all right.
So, what did you think when you first saw cocky Trevor Lockie?
I was mad.
Well, you're not a million miles from the truth, are you? Did he didn't at any point try and touch you, did he?
No, he didn't.
He was a gentleman?
He was.
Was he?
Did you pinch his skin?
I did, a couple of times.
Where did you pinch me?
Or was it like grey, old, sad skin?
Grey, old, sad skin, like a dishcloth, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Dirty, horrible skin. Horrible skin.
Just tell them where you pinched me the first time.
It was on your left bottom, I think.
How many bottoms has he got? You are a freak, Trevor. Look, most people only have one bottom.
I gave her a choice, Russ.
That's very, very decent of you.
He was just moving his bum side to side so fast, it looked like he had two. That's what happened there.
He just wiggling erotically with his recorder. Thank you for coming up. What a nice tribe of people we've got. Let's all make some atmosphere. Yeah! Woo! Whoa, look at all that genuine atmosphere. Flavia, you create more atmosphere than 1 million people.
Yay!
So how come you're so good at creating atmosphere?
I didn't know I did.
You do? You really create good atmosphere?
Now I know I can.
You can go anywhere you like in the world. Create atmosphere. It'd be excellent. Turn up at funerals. It'll be a laugh. What are you doing today?
Well, I'm at work just round the corner.
Where'd you work? What'd you do?
Studio 120.
What'd you do there? Sales. What are you selling?
Photos.
Oh, hello. I'd like a photo.
Where they polish turds?
Yes.
Oh no! Is that
what does that mean?
That means say your marriage is failing. You'll think, right, let's get a portrait of my wife looking all nice in soft focus, having her hair done. We tried to get that done once, didn't we, Matt? To help our marriage. Yes, we did. Do you remember? We
Only for a laugh.
Yeah, I know, but not for our marriage. We're not even married, but we did try and get our photos done.
Is that what it is then?
It wasn't at our studio, was it?
No.
Studio 120.
It might be.
Across.
Might have been. Where is it? Margaret Street or something?
No, right across you.
How do it? 120. Flavia, tell us how you sell it, right? I'll be a person. You phone up. I'll be a person that's trying to get you're selling it to. Hello.
Who's this?
My name is Little Lady.
Little Lady. How can I help you?
I want to buy something because my marriage is all really bad. Make me look pretty.
Of course I can do that.
Why you take Mickey out of my thoughts for?
Do you sound funny?
Well, will you sell me something then, Flavia?
Yeah, sure. What kind of photos are you looking for?
Well, listen, you're making the customer do all the work.
No, but no, you're going to tell me what you're looking for.
I really want to look erotic and like a dirty pervert.
Okay.
I was thinking if you could photograph me, I got some Lego, I got some sticks, I got all the Lego and the sticks, I'm making something like a dinky.
Right, I think we've lost him again.
Well, come on. I thought it's a good exercise.
Insane.
I just wanted to... All right, then you be the person...
put the phone down on you.
Hello. I'd like to have a photo done in which I look better looking than I actually am. Can you help me?
Of course I can. All you need to do is just come in. I'll do your makeup for you. How long is your hair?
It's down to my... just beyond my shoulders.
Okay, so maybe we can... Is it curly at the moment? We can straighten it, like Axl Rose? Or...
Yes, I'd like to look like Axl Rose.
You behave like him, you egomaniac.
Do you have any sea salt spray?
Of course we do.
Okay.
Do you have all that... So you actually give them a makeover?
Yeah.
Do they... And what... Oh, that's weird, isn't it? How long do they come in for? A day?
Normally between... No, it is quite long. Don't laugh, Adam. It takes a couple...
Yeah, Adam, don't laugh. Something that takes a day, Adam.
It takes 5 to 6 hours, actually.
And has anyone ever come in and you just go,
I can't
sorry,
help
we
you.
cannot help you?
There's nothing we can do for you. Just put a bag on your head or start seeing prostitutes or something.
Come on, we're not that cruel. We can help anybody. We can make everyone look beautiful.
And what about, do you do kids and couples and stuff like that?
Kids! Family. Couples.
Have you ever done pets?
Oh,
No,
Trevor.
I'm afraid
What do
we
you
don't.
want to get done? One of your dead pets, one of your dead fish, one of your dead hamsters. OK, it's time for a bit of the old newsy poos, ain't it? I mean, no, let's see how the world's being destroyed at the moment. Let's throw to the news a bit more seriously. Here is the news, but let's stick together, eh? Come on, here's the news. Come on. Right, OK, well, that was Born to Run. So, what a show we're having. Trevor, why are you reading your messages on your phone?
I've got another response from Luke. He said, Trevor, I will give you the thrashing of a lifetime at anything. Challenges, fights, being a Katie Mellower fan.
Sex.
Anytime,
What's wrong with you,
any place.
Married, you
get a room.
Get a room. Hopefully with padded walls.
Hopefully
a pair of
with Katie
psychos.
Mellower.
Oh, Trevor, when she's not coming on the show, don't we keep talking about Katie Mellower?
We are in negotiations and they have advanced. They have advanced.
They have not advanced. They've receded, Trevor, because they're worried about you.
No, because Naz, who works at that restaurant around the corner from the Queen's Arms on Denham Street,
she's got a friend
who's got a friend who works for a record company.
He's got a friend, he's got a friend.
Yeah,
the only person in this anecdote who hasn't got a friend is you, Trevor, and you never will have.
Trevor, he works for MTV.
Yeah.
That's the way to get
You
that.
daft sods.
Friends of friends who work in restaurants.
A friend of a friend who works in a restaurant.
Global corporation.
We work for the
once, it'll be
BBC, MTV,
Just once, it'll be nice.
Endemol, Channel 4, and you think, oh, I know someone who works down in Nag's Head. What's wrong with you?
Just once, it'll be nice to have a guest on this show, what I've got in here, without having to recourse to your showbiz connections.
Trevor, why have you taken your thong off? And why have you done it? Put it back on. Under your flies, put your thong back on. You're embarrassing everybody.
I can't put it back on because it's been on your face.
Trevor, my face is cleaner than your ghoulies, and my face has never committed a crime, and this comedy's a crime, baby. And you probably would have it made one because you're such a bore. It's time now for Matt Morgan's Cultural Review, which I think we've brilliantly made a jingle for, haven't we? Let's have a listen to that. Share the headphones around, guys. You don't want to miss this.
Do you want to explain your jingle before it?
Well, yeah. Matt's supposed to review things culturally. What he's supposed to do is go and see a cultural event. What he's not supposed to do is betray his closest friend. Let's have a listen to the jingle. Hello, this is Matt Morgan's Cultural Review, where I betray Russell and my roots by reviewing things that deliberately exclude Russell, for whom I have many reasons to be grateful, but actually spend any time I'm not with Russell actively betraying him. It's not really about culture anymore, it's about betrayal. This is Matt Morgan's Betrayal. How have you been betraying me this week, Matt?
Well, betrayal's a very strong word.
Yes,
really.
it is, isn't it? For a very strong betrayal.
What I did was...
Betrayed me.
Trevor Locke does this thing...
Betrayal.
...with Paul Foot.
Betrayal.
Another comedian above a pub where they do this thing called Star Search.
Alright, like... Star Search is one name for it, but a lot of people are calling it Betrayal.
And I said to Trev, you know, to support him, I'll come along this week. Perhaps I could do my cultural review on it, because it is a cultural event.
Okay.
And I went along and did it. And that was perceived as betrayal by Russell.
Yes, it
because he was at Big Brother and he couldn't go himself.
Because I would like to have come along. I thought it would have been nice
have loved to
do things to include
You
Russell.
were there in spirit, honestly. There was
okay, so what happened at this betrayal event? This massive stab in the face for friendship.
Well, Trevor, in his spare time, seems to be running some sort of idiot box above a pub.
He's got one down his pants as well.
People come along. There's all sorts of acts there.
What sort of acts, mate?
A dog that can eat chicken.
That's not an act. All dogs can eat chicken.
Someone throwing bits of chicken to a dog who I upset because I was one of the judges. He said, "Oh yeah, come along. You just just watch it." Then when I got there, he went, "Oh, you got to sit on the stage bit and be a judge." And I was a bit nervous about it, but it was all right.
You were very good, actually. You were the best judge we've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, who was previously, if you had as judges then? Fred and Rose West.
The dog who ate the chicken.
No, we've had a string of minor celebrities.
A string of minor celebrities.
Thanks, Trev.
Okay. what a lovely company you're in. Okay, so one of the acts was a dog that could eat food.
Chicken. There was a lady who'd written a poem.
Right.
There was, what else was there?
She's a poet, actually. She'd written more than one poem, and she just only read out one.
Yeah, but poetry, what kind of an art form is it really? We've got Mr. G in here now. He's got his CD in his hand.
An opera singer woman who sort of opera combined with stand-up comedy. She was very good.
Incredible range of culture.
Yeah. There was, what else was there? There's a man, Kelvin, a man playing the piano, writing a heartbreaking love song for an ex-girlfriend. His family turned up to support him.
Nice.
Because I thought it was all like comedy acts.
Yeah.
But it's actually people trying their hardest.
And people trying their hardest and a dog eating some chicken.
Yeah, and then Trevor in the middle of it all, swirling around in a cape.
You aren't wearing a cape, are you, Trevor?
No, I'm not.
Good. I should hope not. But today you've worn a thong, for Christ's sake. Okay, so how did you find it, Matt? How did it impact you culturally, this betrayal?
Culturally, it was, it was a speck on the cultural landscape.
A speck on the... Such as you would expect to be presided over by Trevor Locke.
But it was good fun.
Yeah.
I'd recommend people go there. Is it Wednesday this week?
It's Wednesday this week, yeah.
Go and see Trevor Locke.
Mornington Crescent in the Victoria Pub.
Paul Foot is actually a very fine comedian.
Because the audience numbers were a bit low, weren't they, Trev?
Well, because people are put off by arseholery and probably driven away from the venue. Paul Foot, though, is probably one of the best comedians working in this country today, and Trevor Locke probably acts as sort of ballast to drag him down, much as he does on this show. So, okay then, right, so that's your cultural review.
Very good, and people should go there this week. It's fine. It's extremely good. Go there.
Good, go there. Yeah, why don't the rest of my fan base betray me? Okay, so
why is that a betrayal?
Betrayal?
You've got to explain the whole betrayal thing.
Why is it a betrayal? Because it's a betrayal because I've nursed you, I've loved you, I've cherished you from the moment when I met you as an intern at MTV. I looked after this boy from Dartford who had similar roots to me. I thought I can help this lad. He's a few years younger than me. He's obviously got problems. He was raised by caterpillars and a really aggressive ladybird. It's really affected him. I thought I can help him. Then what does he do? He goes off and does his debut stage performance away from me. Now that's what I call betrayal.
Right, when it wasn't a stage performance.
Come and use this microphone and do a poem. Perhaps you can incorporate the idea of betrayal. I think it rhymes very nicely with the word git. Okay, so G, how's it going, mate?
It's going very good.
I see you're wearing a Richard Pryor t-shirt. Very nice.
Yeah, Richard Pryor's in the house.
Okay.
Right. This poem is entitled Jobsworth. We've all done a different variety of jobs, doing our bit for society, always watching the clock. As it ticks and it tocks, hoping one day we can stop and have a break from it all to reflect and take stock. Matt stuck soiled wipes in airplane seats during flights after doing the biggest job of his life, claiming the cabin pressure was tight. And while delivering post, Russell would swipe all the mail in his sight. Birthday cards, final demands, and advice from Master Su on how to keep your skin tight.
Pinch my skin!
A message from our controllers. Stealing is wrong. Cheating is wrong. Other crimes are available. It's hard to place Trevor's role in this world. A pony boy who plays recorder and kidnaps young girls. Selling advertising to Dorag's secretary. How could anybody refuse it? Who would have thought how far he'd come along, busking in a butterfly thong. Looking very, very wrong. But it's all for Six Music.
That was Mr. G. I see you've got your CD. Where can you get Mr. G CD? Have you got a website?
MrG.com.
MrG.com. Check out some of Mr. G's brilliant poetry. Also, if you want to come and see me and Cocky Blocky do stand up, go to russellbrand.tv. Matt, do you want to plug your night, mate?
No.
Matt's doing a night. Let's call it a night. Dogging is what he actually does. Okay, so it's been a great show today. Have you enjoyed it, everybody?
Yeah.
There's people here that have been kidnapped. There's people here against their will. There's been a cultural review. There's been a Sonic Enigma. There's been me doing a musical constantly. There's been all sorts of stuff going on. It's been a right rollicking laugh. Matty Morgan, have you got anything to say, mate, before the show's over and we have to move on now with our little livelihoods?
No, not at all.
really.
Actually, I should plug that night that I'm doing on the 11th of August in Camden. Bar Monster. It's a rock night. So any Camdenites, punks, rockers.
Don't try to be an exclusive. It's not a Nazi night. But anyone can go, can't they?
Mothers' meeting. I don't want like.
What do you mean it's not a mothers' meeting? Well, you can't come if you've got children.
I don't want squares turning.
What do you want to do? Strangle their children? Kill their children before they come? Is that it?
What's going on about things like that?
Is that because it's what you just actively suggested? Is you actively promoted that just then? Right. Okay. Right now the show is over. Why don't you go to russellbrand.tv? Why don't you listen to our podcast? Because the podcast's excellent. It's got lots of added extras. You lot listen to the podcast. Good, ain't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, what a podcast we've got. So do that. Stay with Six Music because Music Week's coming up with Julian Marks. It's going to be a fantastic show. Also, hang around for Andrew Collins. We've enjoyed the show. What a laugh we've had, have we?
Oh, it's been
Oh, to be young and alive. It's time now for Arcade Fire. They're playing us out. What a show it's been. Boy, I love you, boy.
BBC Six Music.